Getting it all the way 7T. Back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that thumbs up for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time, whether you're here for a long time, if you could, do your boy solid. Hit that thumbs up for your boy. We here with a real boxing conversation, right? Like most people, they want to get up here, right? Most people, they want to get up here, right? They want to argue, they want to cause commotion about Earl and Bud, right? Oh, he ducked him, blah, 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 right? Right now, so until we pass that, because we got the fight. We got what we wanted, right? Ain't no reason for us to keep talking about stuff that don't matter, like who ducked who, right? Like who did what, right? Today, we go get in here. We go get into the schematics today of it, right? This EP gonna be about Terrence Bud Crawford, right? And some things that I see, some holes, some flaws that I see in his game, alarming holes, right? That I see in his game, based solely off his last fight with David Avanesyan. I noticed a lot of people didn't really watch Terrence Bud Crawford versus Avanesyan. Now, of course, the Terrence Bud Crawford fans watch, of course, I watch, right? Because this is what I do over here. It's my job. But a lot of people, didn't watch. But in watching that fight with David Avanesyan, I saw some very alarming things. I saw some things that jumped out, on my screen pertaining to Bud Crawford. Certain things that Bud Crawford, Bud Crawford won't be able to do versus Earl Spence that he did against David Avanesyan, and it was extremely alarming for me, right? Now, most people, right, most Bud Crawford fans, right, they feel like, well, he gonna knock Earl out, right? His power. Most times when I hear, Bud Crawford conversations, right? Most times it's, his power. His power gonna be the difference. Oh, his speed, his power, counterpunching, right? But I saw something versus David Avanesyan that stood out to me, right? And I'm gonna show it to y'all. We gonna break the film down. I'm gonna take it to the big screen, right? We gonna break the film down. I saw something that was extremely alarming to me, right? Now, I'm gonna do a video of the stuff that Earl Spence can't do as well today, right? I'm gonna do what I saw with Earl Spence, like lapses. Earl Spence have his certain lapses, but there's things with Bud Crawford, right, that I see now that I didn't necessarily see. You know what I mean? Last year or a year or two ago, right? And the David Avanesyan fight is alarming if you really watch it, right? Hold on, y'all, while I get situated. But in this David Avanesyan fight, right? I saw something, and I'm gonna show it to y'all because I don't just be talking over here. I saw something, and I'm gonna show it to y'all so we all can see it, right? In this David Avanesyan fight, I saw something. I saw Bud Crawford come out, and Omega Red, what's good, Omega? Appreciate you sliding. I'm looking for my phone, Omega. I saw Bud Crawford come out this fight, right? And Avanesyan made Bud Crawford, abort his game plan. Bud Crawford, he came out here with the intention to box David Avanesyan, keep this a clean fight. But David Avanesyan was able to force Bud Crawford into a fist fight, a firefight. So to see what you mean. David Avanesyan was able to force Bud Crawford into a fist fight, right? And this time it wasn't what's good, or maybe this time it wasn't because Bud chose to engage Avanesyan in that fist fight. It's because Avanesyan was able to cut the ring off on Bud. Avanesyan was able to land his jab. Avanesyan was able to land his straight on Bud without even throwing his jab, right? It's like Bud was a step slow versus David Avanesyan. And at a point in like the fourth round, he decided to just, sit down, bite down, and he decided to fight, Avanesyan in the inside because he saw that he couldn't get away from David Avanesyan. Now, my thing is, most people feel like if Bud Crawford is going to beat Errol Spence, right, then Bud Crawford, he's going to do it using his angles. He's going to have to do it using his legs. He's going to have to do it, using his counter punching, right? Catching Earl in the bad spot, right, and putting him out, right? But I saw something in this David Avanesyan fight. I feel like David Avanesyan exposed a few things in Bud Crawford. One being, I feel like he kind of exposed Bud Crawford's slippage a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't know whether it's, when Bud got to 47, maybe it's because of the extra pounds, right? When Bud got to 47, he started fighting a little different, right? He did more inside fighting and banging necessarily than he did at the lower divisions, right? With his athleticism and his movement. So that kind of did become a trend. But this last fight, I saw Bud come out here and try to box David Avanesyan, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't get away from David Avanesyan. David Avanesyan was first to the punch. You know what I mean? On Bud Crawford. A lot of these times, it's almost like Bud Crawford's legs. His legs really wasn't there, right? And I know a whole lot of people didn't watch this fight, right? So I wanted to do it. I don't know whether they're gonna strike it or not, but I wanted to show y'all, what I mean, what I saw. It was a lot of things done. It was a lot of things done in this fight versus David Avanesyan, right? That Bud Crawford can't do versus Errol Spence. I think Avanesyan exposed, some things in Terrence Crawford that Errol Spence could exploit, right? Errol Spence is a whole different level fighter than David Avanesyan. So I know if David Avanesyan could use these things, Errol Spence to be able to exploit, these things. But I'm about to show y'all, right? Let's take a look. Now, this is the beginning of the fight, y'all. This is the beginning of the fight. I want us to pay attention, right, to how, because some people say, well, Bud Crawford made that a dog fight. No, Bud Crawford came out in this fight. I want y'all to watch Bud Crawford's pace, right? I want y'all to watch what he's attempting to do. Bud Crawford wanted to make this a boxing match, right? Bud Crawford wanted to make this a boxing match. Notice Bud Crawford is going to be the one flicking his jab, right? David Avanesyan is not going to be using a jab at all, almost, right? David Avanesyan is going to be using his straight, right? And he going to be cutting the ring off. You're going to see Bud Crawford tapping with his jab, not really scoring with his jab. The first thing, right, I noticed is Bud Crawford no longer throws a scoring jab. His jab is more so a range finder for his right hand. But notice how Avanesyan is able to close the gap on Bud. Avanesyan is a lot smaller than Bud. A lot smaller than is smaller than Bud, a lot smaller than Earl. Notice how Avanesyan was able to close the gap on Bud without a jab. Notice how Bud is throwing range-finding jabs and not scoring jabs. You can't have wasted punches and wasted movements against Errol Spence. And also notice how David Avanesyan is able to be first on Bud. Look at Bud. Bud already came out, right? Y'all see the fight just started. Bud already got a jab going, right? You see Bud already got the jab in his face, right? Bud already got a jab going. So Bud came out in this fight attempting to box. You see Bud sticking the jab. See Bud sticking the jab. He's not really scoring. You can see Avanesyan engaging space, right? You see Avanesyan engaging space, right? Dipping. He's not even using his jab. Notice Errol Spence is going to be throwing the jab right there. Errol Spence is going to be throwing Avanesyan is closing space, right? Avanesyan is closing space without a jab. Errol Spence is going to be flicking that jab. You see how Bud, I'm going to pause it for a second, right? Avanesyan is not throwing a jab at all. And he just landed an overhand right on Bud, right? I'm going to show you. Errol Spence is going to be coming with a jab and the overhand. You know what I mean? Look Bud Crawford is jab. See, he's jabbing, he's flicking it, not really scoring. Avanesyan is using no jab at all. We know Errol Spence has the most active jab in boxing. You'll see Avanesyan, he's gaining space without his jab, right? Overhand right missed by Avanesyan. Overhand right back to land. Overhand right back to land. Right? Closing space, closing space, closing space. Not active, not active. And Bud is not taking advantage of their space and time in between. This space and time, this space and opportunity and time that Bud had against Avanesyan, he's not going to be able to do that against Errol Spence. Now, some people will tell you that Bud Crawford made this fight a dog fight. Watch the fight, you guys. Look and see. You see Bud Crawford is clearly trying to box Avanesyan. Bud Crawford is on the back foot, right? Who is on the front foot? Who is on the back foot?
Of course, Crawford fought 13 months ago.
Bud Crawford with the body shot. You see, David Avanesyan doesn't close the space with a jab. PJ's big dog was good. You see, Avanesyan doesn't close the space with a jab. Errol Spence gonna be throwing his jab. You see, Avanesyan landed the right hand on him with no jab. Avanesyan is smaller than Bud. I mean, he's smaller than Bud, a lot smaller than Errol. Avanesyan overhand right hook. Avanesyan overhand right hook. No setup without the jab. Right? Now notice, Ugas is a much higher level than Avanesyan too. Avanesyan is able to set Bud up with a fake jab in the overhand right. Right? A fake jab in the overhand right. See, no jab, no jab. Jab, jab miss. Overhand right coming. Bud threw his overhand right. Avanesyan threw his. Bud caught him with the jab. Bud caught him with the jab right. You'll see Avanesyan is the one forcing the fight. Avanesyan caught him with a jab. See, he finding space without Avanesyan overhand right. You can see Bud using the ring. Avanesyan is cutting the ring off on Bud, right? We know Errol Spence is more athletic than Avanesyan. Brian Bradley was good. Errol Spence is more athletic than Avanesyan. So if Avanesyan can cut the ring off on him, you know what I mean? It's going to be a whole lot more pressure when it's Errol Spence, right? And what most people open, right, is that Bud is going to just hit Errol Spence one time and he's going to fall, right? The pressure that Avanesyan is applying is causing Bud problems right now. Avanesyan has landed a few of those, you know what I mean, right hands. And Avanesyan doesn't, he's not implying his jab at all. Avanesyan overhand right. See, the pace of this David Avanesyan fight is going to be ×2 when it's Errol Spence. You know what I mean? Going to be ×2. Avanesyan is getting in, landing on Bud without using a jab. That's alarming. Like, that's extremely alarming to me. Look, kind of look at their feet, right? Kind of look at their feet, right? You see Bud Crawford moving back and Avanesyan cutting the ring off on him. But Avanesyan is gauging space with no jab. He's going straight high guard, no jab, getting in, throwing the overhand right, throwing his body shots. I see Bud getting frustrated with the fact he can't get away from the pressure. Bingo. That's when the fight breaks out. There you go. Watch. And Bud go fight like this. And Bud is going to fight like this for about 4 rounds, right? It wasn't Bud who dictated the pace in this fight. It was Avanesyan who forced this fight. You will see Bud eventually just sit down and say, okay, let's bang. I'm telling people at a point in time, Bud is going to have to sit down with, let me see if it looks better like this. At a point in time in this fight, right, Bud is going to have to sit down. Bud is going to have to sit down with Errol Spence and bang, right? You can see Bud coming out here using his jab right. It's not a scoring jab, overhand right by Avanesyan. See that? People tell you, man, if Errol Spence get hit with that punch, Ugas get hit with right, but you see live in the fight, no mouthpiece, overhand right. These overhand rights are landed by David Avanesyan. Bud can't get out of the way of the Avanesyan right hand. And this is the first round. This is the first round. We know Earl Spence comes out from the opening bell to the 12th bell, right? Now, they're about to start the second round. Notice again, Bud Crawford is still going to be trying to use his stick, use his jab, and make this a boxing match. You will see Avanesyan applying pressure without a jab, though. That's what's long. Look, Earl Spence applies pressure with the jab. Avanesyan is getting in on the inside of Bud without a jab. See, Bud is on the back foot. Avanesyan is coming forward. Bud is moving laterally. Avanesyan is cutting the ring off. See, Avanesyan jump to the side, cut the ring off. Jump to the side, cut the ring off. Double straight. And you see the pause in the action. It's a pause in the action where Bud can calculate his data with Avanesyan. He could think. You see how he's sizing them up. He pawing the jab, not scoring with it. Sizing them up. He's thinking. Right? With Earl Spence throws a scoring jab in the right hook. You know what I mean? Avanesyan is not throwing a jab at all. Earl Spence is going to be jabbing when you jab. Right? Watch Earl Spence versus Danny Garcia. Watch Earl Spence fight Danny Garcia. Battle of the jab. Earl Spence is going to be jabbing when you jab. Throwing to the body. David Avanesyan ain't throwing to the body at all. You know what I mean? David Avanesyan is constantly sneaking in that right hand, right? And now David Avanesyan doesn't have a whole lot of power. You see Bud is on the back foot. It's gonna get to a point in the fourth round where Bud just gonna start standing there. He gonna start moving and he gonna start banging. But you can see Crawford is attempting to box right now. You know what I mean? He's boxing David Avanesyan right now. David Avanesyan is landing, right? No jab. Avanesyan is able to get on the inside with no jab. Big steps. So everybody's telling me, right? Most people feel like, well, Bud's power will be able to keep Earl Spence off him. Do y'all see Bud's power being able to keep Avanesyan off of him right here? No. And Avanesyan is not even throwing a jab. Like he's coming in, no jab. No jab, no jab, body shot. No jab, 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 hook. Straight, no jab, body shot. You know what I mean? Earl Spence is walking towards you with the jab. He's walking towards you with the body shot and the high guard. He's effectively switching from offense to defense. You see Bud Crawford is using the ring, lateral movement. You know what I mean? See that? You see the time. See, Avanesyan is not firing any shots. Avanesyan is not firing any shots. No shots have been right on the way in. You know what I mean? When he's coming in, there's no shots being fired. Bud is sticking his jab out. Bud is sticking his jab out right. Not a scoring jab, just a pawing jab. Bud will have to turn that pawing jab into points. Bud will have to turn his pawing jab into a stick against Earl, right? That pawing jab, that range finder, it's like he doing a lot of weighting. Bud's doing a whole lot of weighting with Avanesyan, right? You see in this fight, Avanesyan is the one that's covering ground. Avanesyan is the aggressive pressing Bud. If you've been watching right from the round one, you can see Bud Crawford is using his stick, using the ring, using lateral movement. But Avanesyan is able to cut the ring off on him, right? You would say that Bud Crawford is giving David Avanesyan confidence. If Avanesyan had any power with these right hands, see that left hand, right? Like if he had any power, body hook. You know what I mean? Walking Bud down pretty much, right? With no jab. When Earl Spence is fighting, right? Right, Earl gonna be first if you let him. Then he's not gonna stop punching. You know what I mean? Bud gonna have to tweak. It's certain things I saw against Avanesyan I really did not like as a Bud Crawford fan. Right, you see how he back foot, pawn jab, back foot, right, just touch. He's not throwing with a whole lot of power, right? Back foot, Avanesyan, nope, no jab, right hook. When Avanesyan is closing space, he's not really firing. See, Bud is using the ring. Bud using movement, firing off his counter shots. In this fight, he said that jab is going to beat Bud. Then he admitted the jab ruined the whole fight and game plan for him. Spence gonna bring pressure all fight. No resting time for Bud. Right, you see Avanesyan laying. See Bud is in the corner. You know what I mean? You can't get in the corner. You know what I mean? You can't get in the corner. It's gonna be calm. You see, Avanesyan is able to land on him a little bit. See, Bud not really firing off that power. Bud is still trying to box. You know, he boxing him, using moving laterally, stick, turning him, using the pivot, right? Avanesyan is the one applying the pressure. Avanesyan is able to get on the inside. You saw that? Right straight. Avanesyan able to get on the inside, right? With no jab. No body work, no jab. Avanesyan is able to just cut the ring off on Bud and use his body work. Bud is just going in circles, right, with his foot movement. It's like he's real methodical with it. Like he's methodical with it, but when you fight Errol Spence, your punch is gonna be intensified. And I think if Bud don't come out with more energy, right? This is the third round in this fight, right? You see how low Bud's energy is, right? Bud has to come out with a higher energy versus Errol Spence, or it could get ugly for Bud quick. Like it could get ugly for Bud extremely quick. Exactly, Teddy. Now, Teddy, you see what I'm seeing, Teddy? Bud is trying to use the ring, but he can't. See, Avanesyan is cutting the ring off on him, you see? And we know Earl is more athletic than Avanesyan, right? More athletic, more explosive, quicker, right? Look, now he's really trying to get on his body. He's trying to get on his stick. Now he's walking, he's moving left and right. Now he's going into the bag again with the movement, right? Watch Avanesyan cut the ring off on him, body shot, right? And he's not throwing a jab. Avanesyan is having success cutting the ring off on him, right? With no jab. You see Bud, look, now Bud turning him, right? He turned, hook to the body, right? That was a power shot by Bud, hook to the body, right? You see Avanesyan is able to take him, right? Right? I want us to watch AB. The IT was good. I want us to watch the choreography of the fight, right? You see how David Avanesyan is able to walk in on Bud with no jab. He's not throwing no jab. He's not doing no body work. When Errol Spence coming in, it's gonna be a jab. It's gonna be a right hook behind that jab. You know what I mean? It's gonna be some work behind it. Avanesyan walking straight in, right? And firing off his shots. But he's not really strong like that. Right? You gonna have Errol Spence working off his jab, firing his shots. And guess what? Errol Spence throw double the punches that you throw, double the punches that Avanesyan throw. Right? In this fight, Bud threw more punches than Avanesyan because Bud was working his jab, right? But Bud wasn't using a scoring jab. Bud is using more so of a pawn jab. I also noticed Avanesyan is able to work that high guard jab and right hook, overhand right hook. Who does that jab? Who does that jab, overhand right hook, and body hook to perfection? Who does that jab, body hook, overhand right hook to perfection? Avanesyan is able to work. Avanesyan is able to come in and land that overhand right hook, you know, pretty much when he wants to, with no jab in front of it. You see, Bud is the one on the back foot. Bud is the one on the back foot, right? Bud is the one on the back foot. He boxing Avanesyan, right? As this is the third round. I mean, this is the fourth round, right? At some point in this round, Bud is going to decide to start fighting. He gonna sit down. He gonna stop using the ring, right? But you see Bud, you know, evading. He evading. He boxing. He throwing a little more, right? Avanesyan on the inside. You see, it's pausing the action. Bud is throwing a touching jab, not a scoring jab, right? Inside fight. See, Bud not moving. He's not moving as much in the fourth, right? Avanesyan's laying. Moving. Avanesyan adding the pressure, right? You know, Bud going backwards using the ring, right? Avanesyan, you notice Avanesyan, he's not working with his hands, not working with his jab, not working with his body work coming in. He's mostly high guard waiting on Bud. Errol Spence goes high guard, jab, body shot, peekaboo, high guard, body shot, jab, peekaboo, jab, body shot, peekaboo. You know what I mean? You see, it's a lot of break in the action, right? With Errol Spence, it's not gonna be a whole lot of breaks in the action. Now, people say, well, they give more opportunity for Bud to counterpunch, right? Because don't you realize that more punches you throw, you can be countered, right? I'm right on it, right? People say, you know, more punches throw, you can be countered. But look at Bud. Is Bud hitting Avanesyan with anything, right? It's a fight. It's the 4th round, right? If Earl Spence is throwing double your punches, if he throwing double your punches, right, it's gonna add up on you. David Avanesyan is landing right hook after right hook, right straight after right straight, body shot after body shot. Do you not realize that that's gonna be Earl Spence on the end of them punches? Facts. Bud is a counter puncher. Exactly. So that means he gonna be second. That means he gonna be second. That means he gonna be waiting for a knockout shot, right? Avanesyan is able to land his overhand right hand. Now you see Bud starting to open up a little, but notice again, no jab. Bud is counterpunching. And his best work in this fight is not his counterpunching, right? If you watching this fight, his best work in this fight is not his counterpunching. He's actually getting beat up when he's trying to counterpunch David Avanesyan. That's what I'm getting at. When Bud is leading first is when he's opening up on David Avanesyan. Him waiting on Earl Spence, him being a natural counterpuncher is what's going to get him in trouble versus Earl Spence. You can't be a counterpuncher with Earl Spence. You got to go punch on Earl Spence like he coming to punch on you. You're going to have to go punch on him because you see when you just sitting and waiting on David Avanesyan, he could beat you up. You sitting and you waiting on Avanesyan, he could beat you up. But when you first, look, he leading the show. He not counterpunching, he leading the show. That's where he have his success at, not counterpunching. When he was counterpunching early, he was letting David Avanesyan pile up. That's what I'm saying. And David Avanesyan is not even throwing as many punches as Earl Spence. He letting Avanesyan pile up on him. Right? They trading. Right hand landed, got through there. You see what I'm saying? He not fighting Avanesyan. He's having more success when he bang. Listen to what I'm saying. He's having more success when he bang. Who's banging? He's having more success when he bang. This is David Avanesyan, right? He tried to box David Avanesyan in the first 3 rounds. The 4th round, he came out fighting. That's been his best round. Bud got to fight Earl Spence, y'all. That's what I'm saying. Avanesyan exposed him. He's not the boxer that he used to be. He's not the boxer that he used to be. He collecting data. You go be collecting data against Earl Spence. Earl Spence go be throwing punches. You collecting data, Earl Spence throwing punches. Terrence Crawford, look, he has success. He throwing punches. He fighting back, bro. Somebody is going to bed. Somebody is going to bed. And after this fight, we go watch Earl Spence versus Ugas. And I'm going to show y'all where it's going to get ugly for him. You see this? Bud is leading. Bud have his most success being first throwing punches. Bud gonna have to double his punch. He's not gonna be able to counter punch Earl Spence. Because you're gonna be waiting to counter punch Earl Spence, and he gonna be in landing 5 or 6 punches on you. You see, using the ring, circle, using the ring. But Avanesyan's able to cut him out. When Bud is boxing, right? Notice something, y'all. Now, I'm gonna pause it. Notice Bud is back on his stick. When Bud is standing still, banging is when you're having his success. When he's trying to box, Avanesyan is beating him up. When Bud is trying to box and counterpunch, Avanesyan is beating him up. Bud is having his most success when he's standing there trading with David Avanesyan. You know what I mean? Avanesyan's not throwing a jab. Like, look, he's not throwing a jab in range. It's not going like collecting data. He's not gonna have time for it. And if he got a fight, he having his most success fighting David Avanesyan, right? Right hand Avanesyan. You see what I mean? He's quick. He having his most success when he's fighting David Avanesyan, right? And my thing is advantage. That's advantage Errol Spence if you get into a fight. Inside fight, right? Inside fighting. He having his most success. Who's the better? Bud is having his most success inside fight in this fight with Avanesyan. I want y'all to notice something, right? Y'all see when Bud using the ring, moving around the ring, he getting touched up. He having his most success inside fighting. At this point in his career, Bud's success is coming from inside fight, right? Now you got to go on here and try to inside fight an inside fighter, right? Avanesyan is not even throwing a jab on the entry. Errol Spence throws the most jabs on his entry. Avanesyan is not even throwing the hook on the entry. Errol Spence throws jab hook combinations on his entry, and then when he get inside, he hits you on the body and he starts that uppercut thing. You see how Bud is leaning right now? You see how Bud tipped it to the side? You see how David Avanesyan can't even see Bud Crawford? Errol Spence has one glove up, throwing body shots, throwing that uppercut when you drop your head like that. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that Bud is having the most success with in this fight is Errol Spence's game, right? And the stuff that he's struggling with, the stuff that he would need, how did Sean Porter give Errol problems, right? He was able to turn him, move out the way. He was making it hard for Errol, made Errol have to work. He was able to turn him. How did Danny Garcia get punched on? Because he couldn't turn Errol. He was kind of a stationary target. You know what I mean? Bud Crawford is not having success turning David Avanesyan right now. He's having his most success fighting Avanesyan on the inside. But Errol Spence, that's gonna be a different thing. I'm not saying he exposed some things that Errol Spence could use in this fight. B-Dog said the movement going to get taken away, so he's going to need to fight Spence in the pocket, right? And that's Spence's game. He's going to have to fight Spence in the pocket, y'all. His movement was taken away, and that's B-Dog, and that's the whole point of this, right? That was what I was saying from the jump. The Avanesyan was able to take away Bud's boxing ability. David Avanesyan was able to make Bud's jab null and void, right? Bud was having his most success firefighting, throwing the hooks, trading with him. You know what I mean? This is y'all just sit here and watch this fight right with me, right? We just sit here. This is about to be the end of the 5th round. The knockout coming in the next round, right? We just sit here and we didn't watch this fight, right? This is the 5th round. Bud is having more success, right? 4th, 5th, and 6th when he decided to fight him on the inside. Look, Avanesyan is having success right now. Counter punch. You know what I'm saying? All that heat. That in the mind of Bud Crawford and his fans, right? Bud Crawford gonna hit Errol Spence one time and he going to sleep. But we could have just saw him hit David Avanesyan a bunch of times and he never went to sleep. Right? So in the mind of the Bud Crawford fans, Earl going to sleep as soon as Bud touch him. Right? But we clearly see that boxing don't work like that. We clearly see David Avanesyan able to get on the inside of Bud with no jab and no body shots. We clearly see Bud not being able to get out of the way of David Avanesyan. Bud is having his most success fighting Avanesyan in the pocket. He having his most success fighting Avanesyan in the pocket. You know what I mean? He was trying to turn Avanesyan early. He was trying to turn Avanesyan early and get out the way, but Avanesyan was having success. Avanesyan was landing. Shade girl was good. Avanesyan was landing pretty freely. You know what I mean? When Bud was trying to box him. Bud having more success when he getting the inside on David Avanesyan. My thing, that's advantage Earl, right? Bud landed right straight, right? Bud right straight. Clean right straight. Right? Bud landed the uppercut. Avanesyan landed a body shot straight. Body shot. Trading punches. He said that's when the corner cut Bud glove, so it will bust. Yeah. So that's the whole glove situation right there. That's the whole glove situation right there. But you see, Bud is having, and this is the last round, right? I'm gonna show y'all the knockout. This is the last round, but you see, Bud is having his most success banging with David Avanesyan. He's having his most success fighting David Avanesyan on the inside. He's having his most success fighting David Avanesyan on the inside. All right, start of the 6th round. Notice how Bud is the one leading with the jab. Bud not gonna be able to lead with the jab against Earl. Earl Spence gonna be throwing his jab. Notice David Avanesyan is not even busy in this fight. Bud is the busier fighter. And Bud, see, Bud just putting punches out there. He keeping his dip. He just putting punches out there. See, Avanesyan landing on the inside. Here come the knockout. Avanesyan landing on the inside. Right hook, body. See, Crawford having his most success on the inside. Meaning that, so we saw him try to move the ring on Avanesyan, not have much success. Right? So if he can't use the ring on David Avanesyan, y'all, I'm saying he's not gonna be able to use the ring on Earl Spence. Bud is going to have to fight Earl Spence on the inside. He's going to have to fight the inside fighter on the inside. You know what I mean? And don't get it confused. When Earl Spence is getting on the inside, he's throwing combinations to get on the inside. Combinations and body work to get on the inside. And when he get on the inside, he's unleashing. David Avanesyan is not throwing any counter punches or body work, right? And when he get on the inside, he can't unleash with the power that Earl Spence can unleash with, which is why you can even stand there with David Avanesyan. You know what I mean? Bud Crawford came out in this fight and he attempted to fight David Avanesyan the way that he fought Sean Porter. But David Avanesyan was able to cut the ring off on him better than Sean Porter. Earl Spence is excellent at cutting the ring off. So if Avanesyan can cut the ring off, I'm expecting Earl Spence to be able to cut the ring off. And there he goes, nighty-night. And there he goes, nighty-night. You know what I mean? And there he goes, nighty-night. See, he walking him down. Nighty-night. Nighty-night. Well, yeah, man. I wanted y'all to see it, right? I wanted y'all to see it because simply, right? I wanted us to see how Bud Crawford, he came out of that fight with the intention to box. He came out in that fight with the intention to use his stick. He came out in that fight with the intention right? To make that a clean fight, to make that a smooth fight. He didn't want to bang with David Avanesyan. David Avanesyan is the one that put that pressure on him and forced him into that fight. He was actually trying to cut the ring off on David Avanesyan, and he couldn't. And it's alarming to me that you couldn't cut the ring off on David Avanesyan, right? And Spence is a much better athlete than Avanesyan. It's alarming to me that Avanesyan was able to land on you without much technique. He was able to land on you without much effort. You know what I mean? Right? And he's a lot smaller than you. And he was able to. Now he don't have a whole lot of power, right? So when his shots landed, it ain't like they just, did too much damage. It ain't like they did a whole lot of damage when they landed, right? But he was able to land, right? And we saw you land some shots. We saw David Avanesyan take some of those shots. David Avanesyan got knocked out, with a shot that he didn't see. And that basically can happen to anybody. But the schematics of their fight, right, the build up to the knockout didn't look very good for Terrence Crawford. Like what was happening in the fight, what was happening inside of that fight, right? David Avanesyan never got out of his first plan. I felt like Terrence Crawford went to plan A, plan B, plan C, right? And you could say that, there's versatility, right? But why do you have to get that versatile against David Avanesyan? Right? Why do you got to get that versatile against David Avanesyan, right? Now, we just watched that fight. What's good, Jeff? Appreciate you sliding through. You know what I mean? Like if you wanted to, right? I understand Sean Porter being able to make it a rough fight, right? I didn't even put my description in here. I understand Sean Porter, right? Being able to make it a rough fight, being able to rough it up, right? Being able to make you have to go in your bag a little bit. But my thing is, you tried to use the ring on David. Why couldn't you use the ring on David? Why did you have to go inside fight on David, right? It's alarming that you had to go an inside fight on David. It's alarming that David was able to land on you without much of an offensive attack. David, we clearly saw David Avanesyan's offense be exposed in that fight, right? But I also saw Terrence Crawford's defense be exposed in that fight. Maybe I saw Terrence Crawford is a catch and shoot fighter. It's going to be a catch and shoot match between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. You know what I mean? Right? Bud doesn't have the strongest chin. People saying, well, what if Earl knocked Bud out, y'all? What if Bud land clean on Earl? What if Earl land clean on Bud? Both guys hit hard, right? I'm thinking in my mind, I done seen EJ take some punches, right? I done seen Bud take some punches. Doug right side was good, Doug. And Earl looked a lot better, right, when he get hit than when Bud do. Right? Bud don't get hit with I done seen EJ get hit with some massive shots. Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Kell Brook. People forget Kell Brook hit him a whole lot of times. And Kell Brook was splitting Bud Crawford eye, right? He ain't split Earl eye, but I digress, right? But Kell Brook hit Earl a whole bunch of times. Hard, clean, flush. Bust his mouth and some more shit. Hit him flush. Kell Brook did. Danny Garcia hit him flush after the bell. You know what I mean? Sean Porter hit him flush multiple times. Sean Porter hit Bud flush. Bud instantly went to grabbing, leaning all over him, shit like that. Mean Machine hit Bud flush. Bud fell on the ground. You know what I mean? They let him get up. Avanesyan hit Bud flush. Bud got on the back a little bit, right? Got himself together quick. Avanesyan don't really got a lot of power. He got over Avanesyan shit so quick because Avanesyan don't got power, right? Basically, what I'm getting at is y'all telling me that, Bud's power. In this match, these people power ain't gonna mean much. In this match, it's gonna be a wheel of attrition. The boxing aspect of this fight, is really going to be out the window. This ain't going to be a technical fight. This ain't going to be a technical brawl. It's not. It's going to be a fight. They're going to have to fight. They're going to have to fight. Errol Spence versus Ugas was a fight. You know what I mean? It's going to be a fight. Now, while that fight fresh in y'all mind, right? I want that fight fresh. We just sat here and watched the whole Bud Crawford fight. Now, if you just getting here, I guess you missed it, right? You should have been here on time. My bad, right? But we about to go to this Errol Spence and Ugas fight, right? Y'all saw the pace. We could have just watched it. Y'all saw the pace of that fight. Y'all saw the pace of Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence, right? I mean, y'all saw the pace of Terrence Crawford and David Avanesyan. Y'all saw David Avanesyan was the one pressing the action, right? Pressing forward. It was David Avanesyan that was pressing forward, right? Now we about to put on Ugas and Earl real quick. Now Showtime, they build the shit like they build the shit quick, right? We about to put it on Earl and Ugas right now. From the opening bell, you saw Bud Crawford going backwards against David Avanesyan. From the opening bell, right? You saw Bud Crawford going backwards against David Avanesyan. Bud was doing this the whole time. You saw Avanesyan with his guard walking forward, and you saw Bud on the back foot the whole time, right? Now we about to start this Jordanis Ugas versus Errol Spence fight. This is more so, and you saw when Avanesyan was coming forward on Bud was having trouble turning him right. He was having trouble getting out the way. Like he was trying to get out the way, but when he was getting out the way, Avanesyan was still able to hit him. You know, when he was getting out the way, it was even at a point in time, right, where Bud, and I noticed like Bud was moving right the whole time, right? But there was a point in time when Bud did start, you know, moving to the left. Avanesyan was able to catch him, you know what I mean, moving to the left, right? But all right, so we just saw the pace of Errol Spence. Aaron Brooks, appreciate you sliding through this thing. Aaron Brooks, shout out my guy Aaron Brooks in the super chat. He said, appreciate the breakdown. Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the support, Kim. That reminds me. But yo, all right, so this is Errol Spence versus Ugas, right? So I want y'all to tell me the difference, right? I want y'all to tell me the difference. I done fucked up. I already said pace, right? I said pace, right? But I want y'all just the difference in the fight, the difference in the level of fight. Notice how the Avanesyan fight looked with Bud Crawford, and notice how this fight looks. Notice the difference in it, right? Notice the difference in this fight. Like it's not going to be a boxing match with Errol Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford. Avanesyan was able to put pressure on Bud and make him fight a fight that he didn't want to fight. We saw Bud try to box them first 4 rounds, right? Opening bell, right? Just a little bit. I ain't gonna show you. You know, Showtime build this shit though, but just check them out though. But you see, jab. You see, Bud was the one throwing the jabs, right? See, Ugas putting his jab out. You see, Earl is the one, you know, leading with the jab, but Earl is throwing the scoring jabs, right? Scoring jabs. No, Bud is just when Bud was fighting, Bud kind of just touching, putting them out there. Errol Spence is throwing punches to score. You know what I mean? Throwing punches to score. Right? Scoring to the body. Not just figuring it out there. Range finding right, but scoring to the body as well. And you see Ugas already. He's not walking, you know, Earl down. He's not walking right into Earl punches. He's not walking right into Earl pressure, right? You know what I mean? I don't want to show too much, you know, Showtime be with the shit, man. Showtime will snatch your shit up. So quick, brother. Showtime will snatch your shit up so quick, brother. But it's just like it's gonna be a different fight. You know what I mean? Avanesyan was able to put pressure on Bud, and you see neither of those fighters, right? You see neither of those fighters was doing a whole lot of going backwards and moving. Right? You notice how when Avanesyan and Bud fight first started. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play it, so you ain't gotta take my word for it. Because I ain't one of them people you gotta take my word for. I'm gonna show you again. You see how when that fight broke out, right? When Avanesyan and Bud fight broke out, right? You saw Bud get on his bike instant. He started boxing, right? He was like, okay, I'm finna box, right? I'm finna use my stick. I'm gonna get the going, you know, using the ring, right? Like I don't gotta make this up. I don't gotta make this stuff up. Right? Those guys pretty much met in the center of the ring. Bud Crawford came out with the intent to, okay, I'm gonna keep this a clean fight with Avanesyan. And I think he was game planning for Earl. I do, because people forget this was right when he was supposed to fight Earl. Right? Look, from the opening bell, right? From the opening bell. Bet $1 million from the opening bell, right? You saw Earl throwing the jab. You see Turner's gonna be throwing the jabs, right? What you see is more range finder. See, Earl was throwing body shots. You see, Avanesyan ain't throwing a whole lot of punches. Earl gonna be throwing body shots, head shots, hooks. You see, Avanesyan has no punches coming in. Earl gonna be throwing punches coming in. Overhand right. You see Bud going backwards, Bud turning, Avanesyan walking forward. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be Bud coming out southpaw against the southpaw. Bud best bet is to go southpaw, right? Bud have his most success southpaw. Like the fact that him being a switch hitter, I don't believe it, because Bud started off right-handed, but he started off orthodox, and then he switched southpaw. He never switched back. He have his best moments being southpaw, right? Bud have his best moments. Appreciate you, Eric. Bud have his best moments right now fighting on the inside in southpaw. Bud best attributes is what Earl Spence naturally is. Bud has become a pretty good inside fighter. Bud has become, you know what I mean? Bud has become a pretty good inside fighter. Bud is a good switch southpaw. Earl Spence is a natural southpaw. Earl Spence is a natural inside fighter. You know what I mean? Like we just broke the fence. Of course, all y'all come after the film. All y'all come after Bud fight, right? Literally. But you see, Avanesyan is high guard. He ain't throwing nothing on the inside. He's straight high guard. He's straight high guard, throwing nothing on the inside. And he able to get in on Bud. When he get in there, he able to throw the overhead right. He able to throw the hook, right. He may fit the jab every now and again, but he mostly just coming to hitting Bud with the straight, hitting Bud with the overhand, hitting Bud with the behind nothing. He walking straight in on him, getting inside and then punching. And then Avanesyan don't even hit that hard. So Bud is able to take his shots, right? But Avanesyan is walking him down without the jab. He's a listen Bud's an orthodox fighter. He switches southpaw to have his strong hands, his lead hand, like some street fighting shit. Bingo. But he's a southpaw. He's naturally orthodox, but he fight best southpaw. But you fight a natural southpaw. You fighting a natural southpaw. Y'all done watch Bud shit and EJ shit early. My thing is, man, he's glad to catch you, fam. Shout out my guy T-Hunt. Appreciate you. Ricky! Shout out my guy Ricky in that super chat. What's good? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, man. Keep up the What's good, Rick? Appreciate you sliding through. You know what I mean? This is not going to be a boxing match. David Avanesyan was able to turn it into a fight over the course of 5 rounds with Bud, right? That's because David Avanesyan is not on Bud's level, right? It's because David Avanesyan is not an elite level boxer. If David Avanesyan was elite, he would have realized that Bud Crawford, right, wasn't really firing, landing shots. He was firing raging shots. He would have been able to throw more punches coming into it, right? Avanesyan really was smothering his own work. He wasn't looking at his own work. That's why he couldn't see Bud, right? Earl Spence don't hide his face. He don't smother his own work. Earl Spence punches through the guard, right? He looks through the guard and he fires shots through the guard. Avanesyan was covering his punch. He couldn't really see Bud because Avanesyan was afraid of Bud's power. Earl Spence isn't going to be afraid of Bud's power, right? Bud Crawford is going to have to respect Earl Spence's power more than David Avanesyan's power. You know what I mean? Type it's going to be a different fight. I saw Bud working on things early with David Avanesyan, and I saw within him trying to work on things. I saw a bunch of stuff that's not going to work versus Earl Spence, right? I saw a lot of stuff that's not going to work versus Earl Spence. What's good, like he's boxing. He's boxing on the back foot. He's boxing on the back foot, right? He's attempting to box Avanesyan on the back foot, right? And right now he is first. But Avanesyan, he's first because Avanesyan don't really throw jabs to get in, don't really throw hooks and combinations to get in. But Bud is on the back foot. Avanesyan lands a body shot. Avanesyan lands an overhand right. You know what I mean? Back foot. He on the back foot, moving. Using a lot of move. Avanesyan cutting the ring off. Right? Cutting the ring off. 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 Bud firing a flicking jab. Right? Avanesyan cutting the ring off. Cutting the ring off. Cutting the ring off. Right? Bud trying to go left. Trying to go right. Cutting the ring off. Lands a body shot. Right? Bud lands a body shot. Avanesyan cutting the ring off. Right? See, Bud is using lateral movement. Avanesyan cutting the ring off. Making it, making it a. Avanesyan lands a right. Avanesyan lands a body shot. Bud lands a hook combination. Avanesyan lands a straight. See, Bud having his most success when he's firing. He's going to have to fight Earl Spence. Avanesyan lands a right hook. He's going to have to fight Earl Spence. See, Avanesyan not throwing punches, right? He's not firing. He's not firing. Earl Spence going to be firing. Earl Spence going to be firing. See, Bud is flicking. Bud is throwing his punch. He's flicking, right? But Earl going to be firing back when you fire. Earl don't get credit, right, for being that counter puncher. I'm going to break this. I'm going to stop. I'm going to show y'all this shit in real time. Earl don't get credit for being that counter puncher, right? But look at when Ugas punches. Ain't Earl Spence punching when Ugas punch? Ain't Earl Spence punching when your Daniels Ugas punch? They say Bud a counter puncher. Earl is a counter puncher too, because he always punching.
There's a reason why this fight was so highly anticipated, because both men are two of the world's best, and they are putting it on full display here tonight as they test each other.
Ain't he firing? Ain't he firing when Ugas fired?
And both are just going toe to toe right now. This is an incredible pace.
And Ugas is a higher level opponent than Avanesyan.
They can continue this throughout the duel. Both men are in supreme condition as Spence rips the body of Ugas, but Lawrence go warning him about it.
See, the thing with Bud is, Bud best bet is going to the thing that's gonna get Bud in trouble. His best bet is going to be to stand there and fight Earl, because we saw him not be able to get away from Ugas. If you're not firing real punches at Earl, you're just trying to use the ring against Earl. Earl gonna hurt you. You can't just throw the fake punches and use the ring against Earl, because he gonna hurt you. When Earl is coming forward, see, Ugas is making Earl be attentive. Earl hasn't even really started to walk him down like he will later on in the fight, right? But Ugas is making Earl, right now they fighting for the middle of the ring. You see that it's a fight for the middle of the ring. Terrence Crawford gave up the middle of the ring to Avanesyan. If he give up the middle of the ring to Earl Spence, he gonna be in some trouble. He can't give him. Yeah, it was in the beginning of this fight, Teddy. He can't give him He can't give Earl Spence the middle of the ring like he did Avanesyan. You know what I mean? He can't give Earl Spence the ring like he did Avanesyan. Right? You see Earl Spence and Ugas, it's a fight for the center of the ring. Right? You see they met in the center of the ring. It's a fight. It's a dance. They both going in circles. You see Avanesyan pretty much was following Bud all around the ring. You know what I mean? He can't give up that ground against EJ because where Avanesyan was following him around the ring, EJ go be where Avanesyan was cutting the ring off, right? EJ go be cutting the ring off. EJ go be firing offense as well, right? And EJ's the kind of dude where EJ hit you with some boom, 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 and then he smother your punches. Hit you with some boom, 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 boom. Then he might smother your shit. You know what I mean? But the thing with Bud is he's going to have to fight EJ. He will have to fight EJ from round 1 until round 12. Right? From round 1 until round 12. And that one shot shit, that works both ways. Right there, one shot, that's going to work both ways. The thing is too, when EJ, you can know Ugas is standing his ground, right? But when EJ hit Ugas in the stomach, you see he break down a little bit. Bud Crawford gonna have to take some punishment. None of these guys, neither of these guys are getting knocked out with one shot. Right? One shot not gonna do it. This gonna be a fight. This gonna be a war of attrition. This gonna be who wanted more. This ain't gonna be he caught him with one shot and he went to sleep. This ain't gonna be a one shot kind of fight. This gonna be a fight like somebody's getting beat up. Believe you me, somebody is getting stopped. Somebody is getting beat up in this fight. Right? And some people feel like, oh, well, it's gonna be both dudes. It's gonna be both. It's gonna be one or the other. Right? Either Bud go hit Earl and Bud go change Earl for the rest of the fight and eventually get him up out of there, or Earl is gonna hit Bud and he gonna systematically break Bud down and stop him. But the way Bud is going to have to win this fight, y'all, throw that 12-round shit out the window. Throw that decision shit out the window. Somebody going to sleep. Believe that. One of our favorite fighters is going to bed in this fight, right? And I'm leaning it's going to be Bud because just the Avanesyan fight, it's been hunting me, man. As a Bud Crawford fan, it's been hunting me. Like the stuff that he had to do, the way that fight looked. I showed it here earlier, right? To let y'all see, because a lot of people didn't, really go look at. A lot of people didn't take the time to look at it because then nobody wants to see him fight Avanesyan, right? But like Avanesyan was able to trap Bud. Avanesyan was able to force Bud to go to plan B, C, and D, right? Avanesyan was able to land his right hand, right? He just didn't have the power to do nothing with it. And I think Bud realized that in the 4th, 5th, and 6th round, which is why he really started putting it on him. He's realized Avanesyan don't even got the power to hurt me. You know what I mean? But the thing is, if Earl Spence land that overhand, right, Earl Spence land them body shots, it's going to hurt you. You know what I mean? Avanesyan did absolutely no body work. I saw what Bud did, right? Avanesyan got the high guard, right? He got the right straight in the overhand like Earl, right? But he don't got the body work. He don't got the jab like Earl Spence, right? He don't got the activity that Earl Spence had, right? As much time as Bud had in that fight, he's not going to be able to do that. Bud would have to use his natural abilities. He would have to use his natural abilities. He's not going to be able to collect data like that because Earl is going to be firing, right? And he could find himself looking for one shot. He could find himself looking for a counter punch, right? That never comes, right? Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. I got 18 people in the building. I got 20 likes. I know more than 20 of y'all been through. There ain't no reason I should have 20 likes when it was just 20 of y'all, sitting in this joint. You know what I mean? I should at least be a goddamn 50, 60 now. Y'all get your boy right, man. I know this some of y'all first time. Don't make this your last time. We do this shit all the time, right? I'm gonna talk about how Bud go get Earl later on too. I'm gonna tell y'all how Bud can get Earl later on too, because it's stuff that Earl do. You know what I mean? I can get into, which I'm trying not to do right now. It's stuff that Earl do. It's stuff that Earl do, you know what I mean? But for Bud to get Earl, Bud's gonna have to be first, right? In order for Bud to beat Earl, he gonna have to put himself into danger. But that's the only way that you can beat Earl Spence is by putting yourself into danger. If you're in the building right now, you ain't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscription button. I'm on the road to 4,000. Really appreciate y'all folks sliding through. We talk this good sports and boxing every day. Later on, I'm gonna come and I'm gonna give y'all my UFC winners, right? My UFC winners for Friday is prediction. I'm gonna get all the predictions after weight early, right? I did the Josh Taylor prediction, right? I'm gonna do my UFC predictions and we go rock out. You know what I mean, like that. But I greatly appreciate y'all folks sliding through. Hit that thumbs up for your boy. But it's stuff that Bud could do to beat Earl, right? It's stuff that Earl do that I don't like. But for Bud to win this fight, for you to be EJ in general, you got to put yourself in danger. A good fight to look at, right? Where it literally is the perfect example, right? Kell Brook versus Earl Spence. In order to beat Earl, you got to put yourself in danger. Now, Kell Brook was doing the shit that you need to do to beat Earl. Kell Brook had a really good chance at beating Earl Spence. Kell Brook probably put Earl Spence in the most danger of anybody, right? Kell Brook was doing all the right things to beat Earl Spence. But the bad part with that is, in order to beat Earl, you got to put yourself in the way of some danger. So Kell Brook had to take a little bit to give a little bit, right? And then once you're in the midst of that fight, now I never fought Earl Spence, right? Terrence Crawford really asked Gilly the Kid, did Earl punch him? He said, Earl hit hard. He said, how you know? You ever been in the ring with him? That shit was so funny. Like, did you really just ask a rapper, has he been in the ring with a boxer? But anyway, I digress. But what people find out is that when Earl Spence hits you, right, it's a lot harder than you think, Bud Crawford. Y'all got 23 people in the building. I need all 23 of y'all to hit that thumbs up. You know what I mean? Or for your boy, subscribe to the channel. I got 3,569 subscribers. I need 3,570 subscribers before I leave because I know all y'all ain't subscribed. Y'all hit that subscription button for your boy. Feel free to drop your opinions. Ain't no right or wrong opinions. Ain't no wrong opinions in this thing. Feel free to let that shit sign. Greatly appreciate you sliding through. But what people soon realize, right, and you don't believe me, just go watch your Daniel Ugas fight. Every time Earl Spence hit him, you see your Daniel Ugas fold forward a little bit. You see your Daniel Ugas fold forward a little bit, right? So go back and watch that your Daniel Ugas fight, right? You soon realize that, you know, you ain't the only person with power in the ring when Earl Spence get in that ring. You know what I mean? But you got to put yourself in danger. Kell Brook was able to get Earl because Earl came out with his shit, right? And Kell Brook met him with it. Kell Brook met Earl Spence with them jabs. He met Earl Spence with them hooks. He met Earl Spence with that aggression. He met Earl Spence with them body shots. And Kell Brook was able to sustain and survive early, right? But Earl Spence showed us a lot in that fight as well. Earl Spence showed us that he's not just offense, that Earl Spence can take a punch. Earl Spence is a dog too. He took some of Kell Brook's best shots. And that was 154 Kell Brook. That was big Kell Brook. That was Kell Brook. People say that was Kell Brook that came down that beat Sean Porter, right? You know what I mean? That was big Kell Brook. And Earl Spence took those shots. But Kell Brook did the things that you need to do to beat Earl Spence. He gave Earl Spence what Earl Spence was giving him. He ain't let Earl Spence come in there and beat on him. Earl Spence told y'all what the secret was, right? A lot of these guys don't want to fight. A lot of these guys don't like getting hit. Well, Kell Brook didn't mind getting hit. Kell Brook didn't mind fighting, especially then. So when Kell Brook went in there, Kell Brook met Earl with that same shit that Earl met him with. But over the course of time, right? And then people start talking about Earl Spence fans always talking about your eye and their ribs and stuff. Because over the course of the time, when you standing tight, when you standing 10 with Earl, when you trying to show Earl, I'm a big dog too. I ain't scared of you. You ain't no bully. You ain't that bad. You ain't that bad. Over the course of time, you realize that Earl Spence breaking your ribs. You realize, damn, this shit hurt more. I'm playing possum, but this shit really starting to hurt. You realize, like, damn, my eye closed. You realize, like, damn, why my shit so hot and tender over here, right? You start to realize that, damn, this dude is putting it on me. Like, damn, these punches is starting to hurt. They didn't hurt early. I could take them early, but now they starting to hurt. You know what I mean? That macho effect, that bravado, that I'm tough, I'm the man. That shit works against you with Earl. You got to be Earl with smarts. You got to meet Earl with fire. You got to be smart. The guy who beat Earl is not going to be tougher than Earl. The guy who beat Earl Spence is going to have some power in his hands, and he's going to be schematically a better boxer than Earl, which Terrence Crawford possesses, right? Which he can do, or he could do, because against David Avanesyan, I saw that you really can't move like that no more. I saw you try to cut the ring off on David Avanesyan, and then you really couldn't cut the ring off on David Avanesyan, which leads me to believe that it could get ugly for Bud, man. It could get ugly quick. It could get ugly from the opening bell for Bud Crawford in this fight. If Bud don't hit, I see you down there, Teddy. I ain't do. I know what's going on here. Teddy. If Bud don't hit Earl with some shit that shake him up, if Bud don't hit Earl with some shit that shake him up, like throughout the fight, right? Bud having that, yeah, I'm tough. He's not gonna be able to stand there against Earl Spence, right? If Bud Crawford plan is to stand there, then that's a bad plan, right? But I also saw in your last fight that you standing there and trading worked better for you than your boxing ability. So what it feel like to me right now is Earl Spence is the better boxer at this point. I feel like Earl Spence is the more durable fighter at this point, right? Now that strength could go either way. Either of these guys can put the other one out. Yes, that's how you gotta beat him, like Kell Brook, right? You gotta meet Earl with some shit. You gotta let Earl know that you're there, which is what Floyd Mayweather did to people, right? Y'all talk all this stuff about Bud being Floyd and he'll beat up Floyd, and Bud just said he'll beat Floyd on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, right? Well, you gotta channel some of that Floyd this fight. You gotta hit Sting and not be seen. If you Bud Crawford, you gotta hit Sting, not be seen, right? You gotta do some of that grabbing. You gotta do some of that airborne. You know what I mean? And we see Earl is literally waiting on people to try to grab him because Earl tense up. You know what I mean? And he throw them hooks when he get in the inside. He wait for the grab. He tense up and then he throw them hooks. You know what I mean? So he waiting for the grab, right? Bud gonna have to get some of that grabbing. Bud gonna have to get some of that grabbing going, that dirty shit, that elbow punching, that elbow with, you know, it's gonna be one of them fights for Bud at this point, right? For Bud at this point, because Bud, I don't think Bud has the feet and the legs anymore. David Avanesyan brought that to my attention. I don't think Bud has the feet and the legs anymore to beat Earl Spence outboxing him. I don't think at this point Bud could outbox Earl Spence. Bud is going to have to hurt Earl Spence, and that's going to put himself in danger to get hurt. And I think that could be all bad for Bud Crawford, right? Now I know some of y'all feel like, you know, this was an anti-Bud video, but now I literally just wanted to come holler at y'all about some stuff that I seen that was alarming to me. Bud can't beat Earl Spence, but the way that he got to beat Earl, he gonna have to put himself in some danger, man. He gonna have to. There is a chance that Bud could get knocked out with the way that he got to fight Earl Spence in the way to beat him. Because I saw him fight David Avanesyan, y'all, and I really don't feel like Bud Crawford can use his legs. I really don't feel like Bud Crawford could use his legs and his boxing ability to beat Earl Spence in this fight, because I just saw him not be able to use his boxing ability. against David Avanesyan. Bud had tremendous success, right? He had tremendous success on the inside of David Avanesyan. He had tremendous success boxing David Avanesyan, right? I mean, he had tremendous success on the inside with David Avanesyan. He had tremendous success, I'm getting cranberry juice, making it a fight with David Avanesyan. But his game plan was to make it a clean fight. The way that he came out giving ground, using his stick. He came out and said, okay, I'm finna pull off a Floyd Mayweather. But David Avanesyan got on the inside and he started raining down them bombs, right? And Bud in the fourth round, he said, okay, I'm finna stop playing with bro. because you trying to give it to me, so I'm finna give it to you because you think this shit a game. But the initial game plan that he used for David Avanesyan was the box. And David Avanesyan was able to land on him, able to cut the ring off on him. And it was alarming to me. Like, I'm watching the fight like live. I'm watching the fight live. You can go to my page and go look at the Bud versus David Avanesyan fight. I'm watching it live. I'm like, bro, Avanesyan is cutting the ring off on Bud. Avanesyan is landing his work without even using a jab. Avanesyan is using the high guard, walking in on Bud, being able to land his shots. Now, he didn't have the power to hurt Bud. Then he had the power to bother Bud. You know what I mean? But the schematic part of it worked. The game plan part of it worked. And Earl Spence's game plan it's a whole lot more. It's a whole lot more punching. It's a whole lot more, pain bringing in his game plan than Avanesyan's game plan. Avanesyan pretty much put his high guard up, waited for you, and then threw heels off for you. Earl Spence putting his high guard up, throwing his jab, finding the range just like you. But he throwing his jab right, finding that range, and he firing that body shot to slow you down and keep you from moving backwards, right? So while Avanesyan is walking towards you with the high guard, you moving back. Earl Spence is walking towards you with the high guard, throwing the jab, firing down that left hand in the body to weaken you up. He coming to you. He throwing his out and he hitting you with that left. He throwing this out to get you to move, and he hitting you with that left. Avanesyan is straight coming in. He's straight coming in, waiting on you. And then Earl Spence also come in, right? He put that jump out there, and then he throw that hook to the body. He throw that left to the body. Avanesyan waits to get inside on you, and then he fire off. You know what I mean? Earl is throwing his shit coming into you, and when he get inside, he fire off. He firing off. It's a different thing. You know what I mean? You waiting for that one shot. You trying to catch Earl with that power jump. You trying to catch Earl with that power shot, and he rolling. You know what I mean? Earl Spence is rolling. He rolling, throwing shots, rolling. Like, it's gonna be you. I see them. Like, I don't think he's that. Then the fight breaks out and Buzz gets ran over by the 8. Fact, he's that skinny with Earl's car accident. Nah, it won't. It won't. This. I don't even want to read that. Nah, it won't, bro. He didn't have. No, bro. No, it won't, bro. It won't, Diaz. It won't. Omega said, "What's your take on Cool Boy Monster Anyway fight?" Not to change the topic, I was just wondering. That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one. I'm gonna save it, Omega. I think that's much more competitive. That's gonna be a good one. That's competitive. That's gonna be a competitive one. Like, stylistically, I can see both fighters winning. I can see Cool Boy winning on just having range right and picking them apart, being active right. I can see Anyway winning right on being quick, making Cool Boy miss and explode with his power. You know what I mean? Making a miss and explode. No, anyway, that's how I see Anyway when making a miss, explode. I see Cool Boy winning just touching them up, just being long, being loose. You know what I mean? Being loose with it. But anyway, I can see him, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, if shit go get good, either of them. You know what I mean? Either of them, Omega. He said Villa versus Boots, upset alert. Oh shit, you got Villa beating Boots? You think Villa wins? Nah, I don't think so. It's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be. Hey, watch this. Boots and Villa and Earl Spence and Bud go look just alike. Hey, them fights go look just alike. Yo, them fights go look just alike, yo. Southern T said it first. Boots versus Roman Villa. Boots versus Roman Villa, Earl Spence and Bud fight is gonna look the same. It's gonna be, they gonna meet, but I'm telling you, these are not going to be boxing matches, y'all. It's called boxing, right? These are not going to be boxing matches, dog. These are going to be fights. These are gonna be high-level fights. It's gonna be a lot of, y'all know how movies look, y'all. This is how these fights gonna look. Y'all know how movies look, like you see niggas, like you see every punch, like you see niggas, ooh, you be slow motion on moves, like you see niggas, ooh, you see niggas, ooh, you see niggas, ducking and shit like that. You be see all that shit in movies and shit, like, you be see all that shit. That's what this gonna be like, but it's gonna be fast though. You gonna see niggas that be, it's gonna be like a fucking karate. I'm telling you, that these are not finna be boxing matches, dog. These ain't finna be. Ain't finna be none of that shit. Ain't finna be none of this shit, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it's finna be motherfucking. It's finna be firefights, bro. Like these is not gonna be. These about to be high level. These about to be motherfucking high level fights, not boxing matches, right? These about. Hey, if y'all go send the super chat, send it to the cash out. Greatly appreciate it. Shout that person in the cash out. I wish I knew who you was, so I could thank you personally. Shout out my guy in the cash out with that fast smackaroos. Greatly appreciate you. Greatly appreciate you. You guys, you just turned your boy up for some best today. Boy. He said, yeah, they be taking crazy punches and moves. Hey, wait, that's what it's finna look like. That's what this shit finna look like, dog. I'm telling you, that's what this shit finna look like. It look like one of them movies. It look like movie, dog. He said Boots turned down the Ellis fight. That shows Villa. Boots turned down the Ellis fight. That's how Villa got the shot. I don't know. The Boots not as confident as he used to be, though. There's something not right with Boots. What you mean? DS said Boots was style on Bill. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Boots versus fuck. Let's talk about it. We in 147. That all correlate. Fuck it. Let's talk. I like that fight, bro. I asked for that fight. I asked Boots for that fight. I said Boots v. Speedy Rashida Ellis. Let's make the Villa fight. If Boots did turn down Speedy Rashida Ellis, right? If Boots did turn down Speedy Rashida Ellis, it's not ducking because Villa beat Speedy Rashida Ellis. It's not ducking. Boots beat you. I mean, Villa beat Speedy. So you fighting the dude that beat him. Like, I don't care. Like, he don't gotta fight you. You should have fought him at first before you lost. He did try to fight you before you lost. You forget he tried to fight you before you lost, Speedy? And I like Speedy. But Villa beat you. And you was beating Villa. You was beating Villa handily. But you took your foot off the gas. And you let Villa catch back up. Ooh, I see a lot. But look, though, Marcelonis, it's news to me too, Omega. And even if he did, though, like even if Boots said, I don't want to fight Speed, I want to fight Villa. That's not a duck. He beat you, right? But Marcelonis. But let's really think about that, Marcelonis. Shout out my G Marcelonis. Let me drop the hammer one time for my guys. Marcelonis, let's think about it though. That's good and bad though. Think about it. Like AB was great. Like, think about it. Good and bad. Good, and he do remind me of AB, bro. You owning something. He do. The fighting style, bro. The kilts and everything. He do remind me a lot of Adrian Broner, but good too. Like, good too. Like, I see it, Marshall. I see it, bro, but I don't see necessarily the bad stuff, right? AB was naturally God gifted, and eventually, right, the game caught up to him because God can give you a gift, right? But God give everybody a gift, right? You know, somebody is working harder towards their gift than you. they can catch up to your natural gift, right? Like there was players better than Michael Jordan naturally in his neighborhood, but because Jordan kept working and kept a grind, he was able to go farther and became better. They couldn't fuck with Jordan at 31. They probably could at 12, though. You get what I mean? So AB let the game catch up to him. Boots is in the gym. Boots in the gym. Boots always in the gym. Boots live, eat, sleep, breathe in the gym. AB was beat niggas' asses and going to party. Beat niggas' asses going on tour. Beat niggas' asses going to make rap videos. You know what I mean? But now, natural ability, yeah, I feel you. Natural ability, here, I see AB. Natural ability, not necessarily the negative stuff, though, but I see the natural ability, AB. Okay, yeah. Marshall said, seemed like he rushing the process. Like he rushed the process with Madonna. I don't think so. I could see that. I could see Villa, Madonna, Adrian Brown. That's an EP. That's an EP, yo. That's an EP, Marshall. Could this be his Madonna? But I don't think so. I think this is gonna be a banger, but I think this is it. I think this is gonna be the fight that Boots gets to prove himself, man. This gonna be the Boots prove it fight. This gonna be the Boots prove it fight. What's good, baby? Appreciate you sliding through. This gonna be the Boots prove it fight. This gonna be the Boots prove it fight. Hold on. I don't see a knockout necessarily. I mean, I don't see a knockout. I don't see an upset. That's what I meant to say. I don't see an upset necessarily. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a fight though. Boots gonna have to win it. Boots gonna have to earn it. Boots gonna have to take it, right? Boots gonna have to take it. Yeah, he could though. Yeah, I feel you. He gonna have to take it. Like he not gonna back down from Boots. Boots ain't gonna have to find this dude. We gonna find out if Boots got it right. We either gonna find out if Boots got a chin, or we gonna find out if Boots got that extraordinary, boxing ability, that Floyd Mayweather shit, right? Boots gonna have to break out. Boots gonna have to break out his boxing ability, right? Or if he go through and he try to, fight through, we gonna find out if Boots got a chin. I hope Boots don't let us find out if he got a chin today. King Judah was good. My guy King Judah said Boots gonna KO Villa. Somebody getting that. I'm telling you, Earl Spence and Crawford fight gonna look like just like Boots and Villa, man. I'm trying to tell you. Somebody getting knocked out. These boys ain't going the distance. These boys ain't going the distance. These boys ain't going the distance is all I'm saying, yo. There'll be no going the distance. He said Boots heading without being a champion. Yeah. Boots the header without being a champion. Yeah. Boots got a city behind him, man. Yeah, Boots got a city behind him, man. He said, "No, I'm not putting that much weight on this fight because after his last fight, I know them boys finna walk out. You're not putting much weight on what fight? Teddy. What fight you talking about, Teddy? What fight you talking about, Teddy? You ain't putting too much on which fight? If Boots don't in this fight, I would recommend Boots use more of his boxing. Like, don't let the knockout come to you. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if you go in here, you're trying to force a knockout with this dude, this dude get knockouts too. You know what I mean? This dude get knockouts too. Right? Like, don't make it a harder day at the office, right, than it gotta be. Because we saw that he could be outboxed, right? We saw this. Okay, I'll tell you this. Boots and Villa, gonna look like Spence and Bud if Boots decide to let it look like Spence and Bud. If Boots go out there and he decide I'm a bang, I'm a brawl, then it's gonna look like Spence versus Bud fight, right? But if Boots decide I just saw Speedy Rashida Ellis outbox him, so I know I can style on him. I know I can outbox him. If Boots decide that I'm gonna go out here, I'm not gonna be touched, I'm gonna outbox him, Boots could make this an easy night. Boots is good enough to make this an easy night against Villa, right? But Boots is also young enough. Boots is also stubborn enough. Boots is also bullheaded enough to where Boots would say, I'm finna go in here and I'm gonna fight this dude, right? So he can make it, so Boots can make this real easy, right? Or it could be a long day, you know, at the office for Jerome. But I'm expecting the knockout, right? And I'm expecting Boost to win. I'm expecting knockout. I'm expecting Boost to win, right? If I'm Boost, though, I'm coming out and I'm making it look effortlessly, right? I'm coming out and I'm making it look as smooth as possible. I'm coming out and I'm not going to let Villa touch me. I'm not trying to test my chin. Now, after I leave this right, everybody want to see, do Boost got a chin? We're going to find out Boost got a chin. This fight, after this fight, I still want to leave this fight having people question whether I got a chin or not, right? If I'm Boots, I want to spend my career like questioning if I got a chin, like we did Floyd Mayweather. Do Floyd Mayweather got a chin? Do Floyd Mayweather got power? Because we just see Floyd beat up everybody for 12 rounds and never get hit and shit, right? So we don't know if Floyd got a chin or not, right? For the most part, because he never get hit. You ain't got to have a chin if you don't get hit, right? I need Boots to be on that type of time in this fight versus Villa. I need Boots on that don't touch me at all type of time against Roman Villa. But this ain't the fight. This really ain't the fight. This really ain't the fight, right? You know, you go out there trying to, you know, prove to us you got a chin. Make this shit easy, man. He said Floyd did get Rock Tyson against Mosley and fought Cotto on the inside. True that. Said Villa tough though. Boots gonna have to put in that work. Said Boots off his boogeyman shit. He coming to steamroll. Yeah, I hope if Boots go in there and he wipes the floor with Villa, that's beautiful, right? But I hope he don't get caught with no shit, man. You know what I mean? Villa got 26 fights and 24 knockouts. Villa got 26 fights and 24 knockouts, man. You know what I mean? So it ain't gonna be no easy task. It ain't just gonna be nothing easy. It ain't just gonna be nothing easy, man. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna be nothing easy, bro. That man, he coming with it. Said Villa fought Edis on the short count. Edis was training full-time. Something cooking. Marshall said he kind of upset, man. Hey, you'll be the first one. He said we found out about Floyd chin with Mosley. Exactly why I wanted to see it last time. See what power about. Said Villa is a true founder. My boy Marshall is kind of upset, man. That'll be a hell of an upset, though. That'll be a hell of an upset. I'm not saying it can't happen, right? But I just think Boots. I think Boots the good. If Boots lose to Villa, man, that'll fuck up the division, right? It's a foregone conclusion that Boots is the next guy. If Villa come out here and he beat Boots, bro, that'll mess up the division, bro. Because we think we know what we go watch, right? We think we know we gonna be watching Boots for the longest, right? If Boots come out here and get beat, bro, that'll man. A Street Mike, what's good, A Street? What's good, A Street? Appreciate you sliding through. KD said, I hope he do. That's Villa good for. Cal Ratio says he can test Boost chin and he's durable enough to test the power. Not coming to lay down either. Facts. Facts. He said, yeah, Moses fight had me respecting for on new levels. That Villa fight Spence in a war. Oh, if he beat Boots. Ooh, if he beat Boots. Yeah, hell yeah, probably. Now Spencer be going up. Spencer be going up. Let me put my let me put my description in my video. I just realized I ain't put my description in my video. Y'all hit that thumbs up for the boy though. But man, I know a lot of people didn't see that David Avanesyan fight, man. We got the David Avanesyan fight walkthrough at the beginning of this video, right? But I saw a lot in that fight, bro. I saw a lot in that fight, y'all. That was alarming for me, man. Like, I saw Bud have to go in his bag against a guy where I thought he should have steamrolled. The result of that fight was a knockout, right? But if you really watched it, there wasn't a steamroll kind of fight. It had its moments where you could see Bud was on a different level, but it was just that it had its moments. Bud kind of almost fought that fight like the old guy that could drop you, like 20 points in the fourth quarter, but he can't play defense through the whole game. You know what I mean? Like he can't do it through the whole game anymore, but he could give it to you like in the fourth quarters and shit, right? You know what I mean? That's kind of what it looked like, right? Like when Bud turned it on, he turned it on. But it was like he was sitting and waiting. Like he was sitting and waiting, and his opponent was taking advantage of it. With Earl Spence, it ain't gonna be that sitting wait time in between. Right? You're not gonna have that time, to sit and wait. And while you sitting and waiting, Avanesyan was like, he was probing, trying to get on the inside. He wasn't necessarily throwing his shots, to get on the inside. He was just kind of waiting, to get on the inside. Earl Spence is gonna be firing his shots, getting on the inside. Like I just think he tried to use foot movement against Avanesyan. It didn't work, and then he saw that he was a better inside fighter than David Avanesyan, so that's where he took the fight to. My thing is, if you couldn't get away from David Avanesyan and you had to go to inside fighting, then that means you're probably not gonna be able to get away from Earl Spence, and you'll probably have to fight him on the inside as well, right? And Earl Spence is the better natural inside fighter. You know what I mean? That power could go either way, right? Just like people saying, well, he gonna catch him with a counterpunch. Just like Bud can catch Earl with a counterpunch, Earl could catch Bud, you know what I mean, with a counterpunch, with a punch. You know what I mean? That rock him. Like that power works both ways, right? These guys are about tit for tat. You know what I mean? On the power. For real. Like, for real, they about tit for tat. Right. Spence is naturally, he's like an older athlete, saving energy for the second half. Yeah, facts, Omega. Yeah. That's kind of what it looked like. That's kind of what it looked like watching Bud this time, right? Yeah, like he was saving it. Like for later on, like he was like, I'm gonna get through the first 4 rounds of the fight, and then I'm gonna start fighting in the 5th and 6th round. You know what I mean? Earl Spence ain't gonna buy him time for that. If Bud go beat Earl, right, he gonna have to start at a higher pace. He gonna have to start from the beginning of the round. He either gonna have to start early and finish early, right, or he gonna have to start at a much higher pace than what he would normally do. And maybe him starting at that higher pace could be what, get him through the fight and get him out of there earlier with Earl, right? Or what could tire him out if he can't get Earl out of there. You know what I mean? The things that Bud Crawford would need to do to win this fight, he's very well capable of. but the things that he needs to do is going to put him in danger when you fighting a guy like Earl Spence. Like, he said, like Lomachenko. Yeah, something like Lomachenko. He said, Bud not moving his feet like previous fights. Yeah, he's not. He's not even when he tried to, right, Marcelonis? Because he tried to against David Avanesyan. I think Bud was hearing people say, Bud ain't been moving his feet like that, right? And I think he tried to do it against Avanesyan, but Avanesyan was able to cut the ring off on him still. Avanesyan was able to cut the ring off on him and still land on him, right? You know what I mean? He was cutting the ring off, and he was still able to land on him. So even when he was trying to move his feet, you know what I mean, he was getting touched. You know, Avanesyan was touching him. He had much more success standing in the pocket. He had much more success when he would, you know, inside fight with Avanesyan. Right? Now he did a little better of turning Sean Porter, right? He did a little better of turning Sean Porter, but even Sean Porter was able to catch him, turning some, you know what I mean, knock him off balance, catch him on the inside. He would wrap Sean Porter up, right? Earl Spence is going to be a harder dude to wrap up. You know, he's about, you know, they could be about tit for tat for their strength, right? You know what I mean? So he's going to be a harder dude to wrap up. He's more active and more technical than Sean Porter as well. Sean Porter was trying to turn the ring on Earl Spence, and Earl Spence was able to use his athletic ability and cut Sean Porter off, right? And Sean Porter, the mover, right? He's a more frequent. He was a more frequent mover in that fight with Earl Spence, right? Than he was with Sean Porter. In the fight with Earl Spence was the one coming forward on Sean Porter. In the fight with Bud, Sean Porter was coming forward on Terrence Bud Crawford, right? And Sean Porter was also coming in with no jab, right? Terrence Bud Crawford, he fought guys. My bad. Terrence Crawford fought a guy in Sean Porter, right, who had a lot of pressure, but Earl Spence is putting on a lot of pressure in a different way, a different style, a different counter pressure. It's more of a calculated pressure than Sean Porter is more of like wild pressure, right? Earl Spence is calculated pressure. Jab, body shot, straight down the pipe, straight to the stomach, right? Sean Porter is pressure, hook, just like Avanesyan. Pressure, hook. Earl actually is pressure, you know, more so with jabs and straights, and he throw hooks to the body when he get up on you, right? So it's not a wild thing. In this fight, Earl will be the more technical fighter. EJ will be the more technical fighter. Bud throw his punches wider, right? Earl is more down the middle with it. Bud throws his jab every now and again, right? But it's more so a jab to find the range, or more so a jab to try to scare you, right? To keep you from coming in. And if he can't scare you, then it turns into a range finder jab, right? For example, him and Kell Brook, it was basically a battle of the jabs early. Kell Brook and Bud Crawford was basically a battle of the jabs early in that fight, right? And Kell Brook was winning that battle of the jabs. But then Bud Crawford said, you know what? I'm finna put a little more oomph behind my jab. When I land my jab, I'm going to make sure that I land it with more authority. So he started putting more oomph behind his jab. And that's when he was able to spin Kell Brook, you know, loopy, knock him off his top, right? Knock him loose, knock his heart out the game, right? When he put some oomph behind that jab. But if you go back and watch that fight, Kell Brook was actually splitting Bud open, you know, with his jab. So Kell Brook was able to lay his jab, and Kell Brook has, you know, a lot shorter arms than Earl Spence. Kell Brook has a lot shorter arms than Bud, right? But Kell Brook is a guy who applies. Kell Brook, like Earl, right, can fight going forward, and he can fight, you know, off the back foot, going laterally. But Kell Brook is a guy who could actually apply his pressure, who could actually add his offense into the game while moving forward on you. He don't freeze up, or he don't go straight defense while he moving in. Kind of like Earl Spence. Kell Brook can go defense, guard to jab to straight, right? He could transition from offense to defense just like Earl. And he gave Bud some problems. If you actually go look at the scorecard, Kell Brook was up in that fight. Now, it was only four rounds, right? He was only up 2-1. but he was up. He was outboxing Bud Crawford when he was up. You know what I mean? So Bud can be outboxed, right? A lot of people think his best bet is going to be to outbox Earl, but at this point, he can't outbox Earl Spence. His jab is not better than Earl Spence. He doesn't have a higher work rate than Earl Spence. His body work is not better than Earl Spence. His inside game is not better than Earl Spence. In that mid-range and distance, Earl Spence is more active than him. So that could cause him trouble even at mid-range and distance. Bud Crawford in this fight, he's going to have to do something that he really ain't used to. He's going to have to do something that Earl Spence has already done about 3 or 4 times. Now, Terrence Crawford did it with Sean Porter, right? But he's going to have to do something that Earl Spence has done about 3 or 4 times. And this fight, actually, Earl Spence do this all the time, right? But this fight, a high-level fight from round 1 to round 12. You know what I mean? From round 1 to round 12. You know what I mean? He's going to have to fight that high-level fight. Right? He got to be prepared to go from round 1 to round 12 because you got to be prepared for this guy to be in front of you. You got to be prepared for him to be in front of you, but you also got to be ready to put him out. I think somebody getting knocked out in this fight, given the stakes of this fight. Yoda, what's good, Yoda? What's good, Yoda? We got you sliding through. My guy Yoda Wise, my guy DP, my guy Edgar Chavez. Y'all could hit that thumbs up for your boy. When you roll on in, ready here for a good time or a long time. Really appreciate y'all coming through in this thing, having us a 147 conversation. We watched the film on Bud Crawford versus David Avanesyan. I know a lot of us probably didn't check that thing out because we was made for David Avanesyan though. But y'all could go to the beginning of this one. Y'all can go check it out on YouTube. I saw that fight and I was alarmed, right? I think Yoda was here with me when I was watching it, but when I was watching it live, I was like, man, Bud Crawford is trying to use the ring on this dude. Bud Crawford is trying to use the ring on this dude, right? And Bud Crawford can't get out of the way of David Avanesyan's right hand, right? Bud Crawford was having more success on the inside with David Avanesyan than he was using the ring, right? He showed versatility in that fight with Avanesyan, but why did you have to show versatility against David Avanesyan? You know what I mean? But I digress. Prize Fighter, what's good, Prize Fighter? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Prize Fighter. Glad you made it. You could, Prize Fighter. Hit that thumbs up for your boy. Win this thing, having us a conversation. I saw some in that Avanesyan fight that alarmed me. You know what I mean? And in this fight, man, I think if Bud don't fix a lot of the stuff right that he displayed against David Avanesyan, then it's gonna be a quick night for him. It's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly quick. And I really, at this point, y'all, I can't sugarcoat it. I don't think it's fixable. Ah, yeah, see, Yoda was here, right? Like, I don't think it's fixable because I saw you try to keep Avanesyan off with your stick. You couldn't do it. I saw you try to use your lateral movement against Avanesyan and you couldn't do it. Earl Spence is a much better offensive fighter, much better athlete. You know what I mean? Much better at closing the distance effectively, right? Because Avanesyan was able to close the distance. He didn't do it effectively. He couldn't be effective until he got on the inside. But every now and again, David Avanesyan would throw a hook when you trying to get away and he would catch you on the outside, right? Those outsides, those hooks where you catch you and you getting away, can't afford those against Earl Spence. Now I'm gonna do my Earl Spence EP right now. I'm gonna let y'all know the stuff that Bud Crawford will have to do to beat Earl Spence, right? But again, a lot of stuff that Bud Crawford will have to do to beat Earl Spence involves Bud putting himself in danger. There is no way that Bud could fight this fight on the back foot, right, and beat Earl Spence in this fight. I didn't say he couldn't go the distance with him, right? If Bud got on his back foot, he could make it 12 rounds, right? But there is no way that Bud Crawford could come in this fight, get on the back foot, right, and expect to beat Earl Spence in this fight. David Avanesyan fight showed me that because he's not going to be able to keep doing the things over the course of the fight that he needs to be successful to outbox him, right? Bud Crawford, at this stage in his career, he's been having his most success on the inside, having his most success when he's training with guys, right? Him and Kell Brook was having the boxing match I alluded to earlier, right? They was going jab for jab. Kell Brook was winning the jab battle. Bud Crawford decided, you know what, I'm going to sit down on this jab a little more. He sat down on the jab. He bust Kell Brook up, and then he hit him with the right, and he spent them loose. You know what I mean? And he spent them loose. You know what I mean? Bud is having more success fighting guys, right? He had more success when he get into the brawl. He get into the counter punch. You know what I mean? He said Bud can't trade with EJ. Ain't no point in the fight. Yo, and he can't outbox him. I think at this point, EJ wins. I think it's EJ said it, right? EJ kind of alluded to it. Like if he even EJ alluded to it, right? EJ said this could be a throwback fighter between two of the best fighters, right? Or this could be a one-sided beatdown, right? The things that he said Bud will lose on the cards if he goes to a decision just off the expectations that have been set for Bud. He said, glad you actually breaking it down for both fighters. I get tired of people arguing and not really making any points at T. Yep. I'm going to do Bud after this. Y'all know how I got to do it. Y'all going to like my title for Earl John too. I'm telling y'all going to like my title for Earl John. I'm going film class. And y'all going to like my title. I'm telling y'all, like, it's because I'm sick of people. You know, I'm not going, but I don't care. I'm not going to be butthurt if anybody lose. As long as don't never one of them punch me, I'm okay. As long as never one of them punch me, I'm okay, right? But both these guys have ways to win. I just don't think that Bud could get Earl at this point. But it is ways for him to do it. But they involve him putting himself in danger. That's the only way to beat Earl Spence. You can't beat Earl Spence. You can't. Marcus Bell was good. Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Glad you can make it, pimp. Glad you can make it. Like you in order to beat, like, you gotta hurt Earl Spence to beat him. Bud could beat Earl Spence on the cards, right, Ricky? If he can hit Earl, he could hurt him with something lingering. If he could make Earl linger, with his punches, like he could really hurt him. If he could do the Earl what Earl do to people, right? He could hit Earl so hard, make him think, make him not want to get in the fighter. So I bet you $100, $25, right? Yeah, see. Y'all can go and shoot his ass. Now. Don't block him, right? But y'all can shoot him now. For that KFC remark. Y'all can go and shoot him now for that KFC remark. Because bitch, I slapped the shit out of you. Y'all can go and shoot him for that KFC remark. Because bitch, I slapped the shit out of you. You know what I mean? But yeah, I digress, right? I said for years, like watching good fights, win, lose, or draw. It's entertainment to me. Facts. And that's why people get mad. That's why That's why you gotta go race over here on Sudden T, right? Because if you don't go race, I ain't gonna give a fuck about you. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. Like, y'all can't get me out of my element, right? You gotta say something extra stupid. You know what I mean? No, you gotta say something extra stupid. You know what I mean? You gotta say something like that, you know. He said you gotta be able to knock EJ out. EJ has fought hurt before. He gotta make EJ question himself. He gotta really hit him with some shit that change him. He gotta hit him, he gotta close his eye. He gotta break his rib. EJ gotta break his hand. He gotta change the course of the fight. You gotta do something to keep EJ off of you. You gotta give him respect. You gotta keep him off of you, right? Kell Brook was making EJ hurt, right? He was putting that hurt on EJ, right? But EJ kept going. He was putting hurt on EJ, but he didn't hurt EJ. You know what I mean? Like more than just EJ Kentucky Fried Clown fact. More than just like a punch, right? Not a punch, right? Not a blood match. You gotta like hurt him physically. You gotta physically hurt him like he do people. You know what I mean? So I'm really enjoying this, bro. Salute to the family. Shout out my guy OTB, OT Bills. I still want Robert Acuna Jr., man. What's good, OTB, TWT in the building. Shout out to all the TWTs in the building. Shout out my guy OTB, right? I'm gonna do Earl too. Y'all ain't gonna like the Earl head. Y'all ain't gonna like the Earl headline. You know what I mean? But it's way he can be beat. You know what I mean? But it's the thing with I gonna tell y'all a little bit, right? I'll tell y'all a little bit, right? Bud got to set traps for Earl, right? And Bud do set traps. Bud got to set traps for Earl. Bud got to make Earl think that he gonna be in places that he not, right? You know what I mean? Bud got to make Earl. Bud got to make Earl think one thing, but do another thing, right? And he got to make him pay. When he counterpunch Earl, he got to make him pay. Like, you can't go on here trying to max Earl pressure. You can't go here trying to max Earl punch output, because that ain't you, right? If you Bud, you got to make your punches count. When you go on the inside, briefly, you stay there briefly. But when you in there, you make them count. You don't let Earl get comfortable on the inside. You don't let Earl set up on the inside. You don't let Earl feel you. Like, you show yourself to Earl, and then you get out of there. But thing with Earl is when you make your move, he making his move too. So with Bud, you gotta set traps. You gotta make him think. You gotta think. You make him think he's somewhere you not. Sting disappear. And then after your first move, you gotta be first with Earl, and you gotta be third. Right? That's the best way I can put it. Right? You gotta be first with Earl, and you gotta be third. And you gotta not get hit with that fourth by Earl. You know what I mean? You gotta beat Earl to the punch. You gotta watch out for his punch that's coming back at you, and then you gotta be third, and you gotta get out of there. Right? Y'all know how y'all kind of like Jermell Charlo, right? Jermell Charlo fight like that. Jermell Charlo fight first, he fight third, and then he evade. He go first, third, evade. First, third, evade. First, third, evade. You know what I mean? That's what Bud got to do. He got to make him think he's somewhere he's not. Earl be first, strike first. He don't got to be first, not swing first. Strike first, right? Evade, strike third. Because Earl is a volume guy, right? So Earl want to be first. You don't have to be first. You have to strike first. Let me say that you have to strike first, right? Because Earl like to be first. You're a natural counterpuncher. You can't double your output up like I'm telling y'all too much right now. I'm really giving y'all my Bud Crawford junk right now. But I digress. I digress. And when bingo, Rick, he gotta control the exchanges with Earl. But doing that is dangerous. It's dangerous for Bud too. He gotta control them. He gotta set them. And it's hard to win exchanges. It's hard to control exchanges, right? When the nigga is constantly walking towards you, throwing punch, when he constantly swinging, he constantly putting. It's hard to catch timing on somebody with no timing. Earl don't really fight with a timing. You know what I mean? Earl is throwing punches. He bobbing, he weaving, he blocking, and he throwing punches. You know what I mean? He doing it all at once. He ain't doing it, right? He's throwing punches while he weaving. He putting his high guard up, dropping, throwing punches. You gotta be first. You gotta make Earl. You gotta always make Earl have to find you, right? Earl want to walk forward and put that pressure on you, right? You gotta always make Earl have to find you, and you don't want to use big movements. You want to use slight movements, right? You want to use turns. You want to spin Earl. Sean Porter probably did it the best, right? Sean Porter probably did it the best, right? You got to spin him. You got to make him these. You got to constantly spin his ass, right? You got to spin him, right? It is a lot. It ain't going to be easy, Slim. It ain't going to be easy, Slim. Shout out to my guy, Slim Hustle. What's good, Slim? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Slim. Shout out to my guy, Slim Hustle. Yeah, like it ain't gonna be easy, right? But yeah, like Sean Porter, you gotta make him, you gotta spin him, you gotta make him think, you gotta always make him look for you. You know what I mean? You got to make them look for you. Because the thing about Earl is, I'm telling you this, right? I'm gonna say this. I really should say this for the Bud video, right? But the thing with Earl is, right? Sometimes Earl loses focus defensively, setting up his next move offensively, right? What makes Earl so good is that his offense, he got an active defense, right? His defense is partly his offense, right? He got an active defense. Now he be protecting and moving, but he punching the whole time, right? So sometimes he's setting up his offensive move, right? And he take defensive now. He may look off for a second, right? He may dip his head for a second, right? He may turn his head to the right, right? When he coming in, thinking, you gotta catch Earl. You gotta catch Earl on the transition, right? You gotta catch him on the transition. Now his transitions are fluid, right? But you gotta catch him from the transition from offense to defense. You know what I mean? And it's fluid, but sometimes Earl will bump you. He'll bump you, right? When he bump you, he not throwing punches, right? You got to catch him when Earl hit you with that shoulder. When he bump you, Bud gotta attack. You know what I'm saying? When Earl is taking his breaks, or when Earl is moving, when Earl is transitioning, that's when you got to jump Earl. Sean Porter saw that, right? Because in order to throw Earl off, you got to hit him, right? You got to hit Earl. You got to hit Earl. You know what I mean? He's out there in actual V. Factor. Go get you in trouble too, because he always move, he always something. They trying to, boy, y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? They kicking me out. Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? But yeah, okay. I digress. You can't get caught waiting on, Earl, right? You gotta strike first, right? And you gotta be third. You gotta strike first with Earl, and then you gotta be third. Right? You want to be first, you want to be third. You can't get caught watching Earl, because you'll catch yourself. You'll catch yourself just looking at him, kind of like Danny Garcia, right? Danny Garcia was waiting for that route. Okay, I'm gonna catch Earl, I'm gonna time him, right? I'm gonna catch him, I'm gonna time him. I'm gonna catch him, I'm gonna time him. Now you could talk, that shit what you want to. Danny Garcia quick with his hands, and Danny Garcia got power. Danny Garcia quick with his hands, and Danny Garcia got power. I'm good now? Okay, bet. Yeah, they was trying to censor me. Danny Garcia quick with his hands, right? Danny Garcia got power. And Danny Garcia got time. Danny Garcia feet is slow. If you really pay attention right now, Terrence Crawford is more along that Danny Garcia line at this point, right? With the way he fight. You know what I mean? But Danny Garcia got caught waiting for Earl Spence. He got caught waiting. Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna catch him with his right hand. I'm gonna put him out, right? And then Danny Garcia caught Earl with a couple of those right hands. He caught Earl with a couple of those right hands, but Earl Spence didn't go down. Now, the thing is, everybody, Bud fans, right? Bud fans. I'm a Bud fan, sure enough. But I'm a look different too. I'm a boxing fan. Then I like the fighters, right? everybody's counting on Bud being able to time Earl, catch him in between it, put him down. Right? Boom. You catch him at a time, put him down. Boom. That's what you counting on. You counting him going, and knocking Earl out, right? But think about this. Kell Brook caught Earl with the Danny Garcia caught Earl with the Sean Porter caught Earl with the Danny Garcia caught Earl with that a few times. What if Bud catch him with that right? And he don't knock him down. He don't knock him out. What if Bud catch him again with that and he don't knock him down? He don't knock him out. You know what I mean? That's how I'm planning for the fight to go. I'm planning for Earl Spence not being able to knock Bud out with one shot. I'm planning for Bud not being able to knock Earl out with one shot. Facts. Ugas caught him with that You know what I mean? Snacks B, you was good, Snacks. Appreciate you sliding through. Like, don't just assume that Bud is going to hit this man and put him out. If that's what you're counting on now, as fans, we could count on that because as fans, most of y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Most people say he gonna tell Earl, he gonna knock him out with one punch. Yep. What if he can't do that? He hit David Avanesyan with more than just one punch. That one punch that you talking about on the chin where he catch him, anybody can do that. Anybody could catch anybody like that. That's not something that only Bud Crawford can do. Right? You could not, Earl Spence damn near knock Sean Porter out like that. You know what I mean? You don't have to go to sleep when you get hit like that. You can come to. Once Earl may not necessarily go to sleep. Everybody is so set on, well, he gonna knock him out with one punch. If you get up, Bud go put him down. You know what I mean? It's gonna have to be more than one punch from both guys. It's not gonna be a one punch thing. It's gonna be an accumulation of what you do, of the good work you put in this fight. You know what I mean? He said, y'all giving Bud extra sauce on his power. He is not a one-hitter quitter. And this ain't gonna be no one-hitter quitter type of fight. You know what I mean? He's the top of the AM. Shout out my guy Snacks B. He just slide through this thing, Snacks B. Let me drop the hammer one time for you. But yeah, like it ain't gonna be a one punch kind of deal with this. It's never a one punch kind of deal in the high level fight, right? And a lot of times, if it is, it's gonna be later on in the fight after the work already been put in, right? If it is gonna be a one punch thing, it's gonna be later on in the fight after that good work already been put in, man. But it was just alarming to me. It was just a little alarming to me, man, that Avanesyan fight. I know a lot of people didn't even watch it. A lot of people didn't even watch the fight, right? But it was alarming to me, and Bud very well could have been, working on stuff, right? But the stuff that he was working on, it was alarming to me that it didn't work out that way. He still ended up having to fight him on the inside, right? Because we just went through the breakdown, right? And we watched it. Bud came out in that fight, attempting to box Avanesyan. He had more success, right? But he had more success fighting Avanesyan on the inside. And if that's where you're having your success at these time of days, then I don't think that's the best. The way Bud will have to be Earl right now, right? I don't think he gonna have to take some to give some, right? The way it's looking like to me, not. I could be completely wrong. I could come out there and Bud could put her ass down in the first round, like I'm saying, ain't gonna happen, right? But what I'm feeling, what it's looking like to me, just what my eyes is telling me, my boxing eyes telling me that the things that Bud is going to have to do to beat Earl Spence, the things he's gonna have to do to be successful, based on his last couple fights, based on the way that his last couple fights have went, the way that Earl's last couple fights have went. The thing he's going to have to do is he's going to have to put himself in danger. You know what I mean? He's going to have to put himself in danger. You know what I mean? And he very well could come out on top. But both these guys, we go find out a lot about both these guys, man, when it comes to they talking like he has the equalizer. He doesn't. Not at 47, right? And you could equalize like and that punch that he caught Avanesyan with, like this anybody could get caught with that punch. Like just like he caught him with that, Earl could catch him with that. Avanesyan could have caught him with that. You gotta have, that power right, but that's on the chin punch flush. That's flush on the chin. Out. Anybody could be hit like that, right? We've seen guys get hit with that and get back up, right? We've seen Sean Porter get hit like that with Earl, right? Get knocked loopy, get back up. Depending on your recovery. David Avanesyan got knocked down. He had no recovery. There are some guys who have excellent recovery. Like guys who get hit twice, knock their mouthpiece out, and they get right back up. Like guys who get thrown 30 feet in the air from cars, they get knocked out, then they get up and they take mud shots. Right? So you can hit a guy hard, but you can hit a guy hard, but that don't necessarily mean that you're gonna knock him out. That don't necessarily mean that his recovery ain't gonna hold up. You know what I mean? But it's going to be more than just a one-shot deal in this fight. It's going to be more than just it's going to be more than just one thing that wins the fight for either of these guys. No, I mean it's gonna be more than just one thing that wins the fight for either of these guys. And I hate that y'all made me spill my beans on Earl Spence. He said Bud get touched a couple times. He said Bud got touched a couple times in that fight too against Avanesyan. Yeah, he did, right? Clean. Avanesyan, that's what I was saying. Avanesyan was able to. Bud was trying to cut the ring off on Avanesyan, right? Bud was trying to cut the ring on Avanesyan. Bud was trying to use movement in the ring against Avanesyan, right? But Avanesyan was able to cut the ring off, and Avanesyan didn't throw a whole lot of transitioning punches, right? Like when Bud was, making the switch, he was moving, he was turning. Avanesyan didn't throw a whole lot of punches to try to catch him, but when he did, he had some success. He did have some success in doing it. Earl Spence is going to be throwing those punches in the transition, right? And you're going to have to make yours count against Earl Spence, right? At some point, I really feel like, he said, agree, I think both great fighters and both have opportunities to win. That's just how I think. Yeah, they do. And y'all know I lean more towards Earl because I just naturally, right? Like Bud is a switch left-hander, right? Bud has been fighting very well on the inside. Actually, he didn't fight Sean Porter on the inside. He didn't. He kept Sean Porter at a distance. He held on the inside mostly, right? But he really kept that fight away from the inside. Now, I think it will be a little different. Earl is a bigger guy, but I could see Bud, using that hold on the inside thing. But I also could see Earl Spence, shaking loose and throwing his punches. I also could see a thing where, but this not gonna be a boxing. I keep saying it, right? This is not going to be a boxing match, y'all. I also see where Bud, because Earl Spence do like to shake loose, right? Bud can have to ask somebody when they get inside, hold them, right? Let them go and swing on the let go. Not when the ref break it, right? But you hold Earl Spence, right? When Earl, when Earl started getting his arms up out of there, you let go, boom. You know what I mean? This technical battle shit, it ain't gonna be in this fight. This ain't gonna be the fight. This is gonna be a instinct kind of thing. This gonna be you gotta land and you gotta count. You gotta count in this fight. You have to make your punches count in this fight. People think this fight going the distance. I don't. And if it do, it's because it's because both these guys got extremely tired, or both these guys got hurt, or one of these guys got hurt and they decide to just survive, right? That's the only way I see this fight going to distance. Either one of these guys got hurt, both these guys got hurt, or one of them just decided I can't fuck with them and I'm gonna survive. But with who these two guys is, the skill level in this fight, the pride coming for this fight, with everything on the line for this fight, I know for a fact if Bud want to win this fight, he gotta knock Earl out. If Bud want to win this fight, he gotta knock Earl out. He gotta stop Earl. He gotta keep Earl from coming to him. Like, because Earl is not going to quit. Earl is not the kind of fighter who take the decision and say, well, I'll live to fight another day. Earl is coming to win. You will have to knock bro out. You're going to have to knock bro out. You know what I mean? The question is, right, can Bud durability hold up? We seen Bud with the split eye, right? We seen Bud rock a few times, right? By lesser punchers, right? Is his durability going to hold up? Is Bud's legs going to hold up? He said, don't let Earl start dancing, coming out the corner. He's over there. He said, Earl, that kind of fighter, lion-hearted, alpha. Yeah, in fact, he said, Danny said Earl feels heavy in the ring. He said his presence is felt in there. Yeah, in fact, because he always moving forward. He always on you. He always moving forward. Yeah, in fact, but Bud is strong too, right? Bud strong, Earl strong. This is why I'm saying that power is not going to be the deciding factor in this fight. Anybody who telling you, oh yeah, he just gonna knock him out, that's either side. Anybody telling you Earl just gonna knock Bud out. Anybody telling you Bud just gonna knock Earl out. Power is not going to be the deciding factor. It's not. It's going to be will. It's going to be attrition. It's going to be who can land more of those power shots. Who can land more of those effective shots. Who has more heart. Who has more dog. You know what I mean? It's not going to be, this is going to be an attrition. It's going to be a battle of attrition in this fight. Right? It's going to be a battle of attrition. And not to go all the way back there, right? But it gets scary because Earl Spence been buzzed, right? And Bud Crawford been buzzed, right? But let's just say, even if they got hurt a little bit, right? Let's just say the people who buzzed them, right? Let's just say everybody that punched them buzzed them, right? Let's just say that Danny Garcia buzzed Earl, right? Let's just say that Sean Porter buzzed Earl. Let's say Kell Brook buzzed Earl, right? My thing is, look at the level of punches, look at the level of boxers those are, look at the size of those men, right? We seen Bud get buzzed by Mean Machine. We seen Bud get buzzed by Gamboa. Gamboa is 135. The fact that the everybody is saying Earl got to watch out for the counter punch, that one punch, that knockout. More one punch knockout. It favors Errol Spence. Bud got hurt by a guy at 35. Yo. You know what I mean? He got hurt by a guy at 35. Bud got hurt by a guy at 135. Kell Brook had his body ready. Yordanis Ugas had his body ready. Right? But after a while, you know, you can't keep taking them body shots. And just like Earl could lose, just like Bud could lose, Earl could lose too. Just like Bud will have to work for his win, Earl will have to work for his win too. I just think like right now, I think Bud Crawford might have waited a fight or two too late. And I think it's nobody's fault but his. And I mean a fight or two too late as in Earl Spence, like where he's at. Like from the car accident to now. Earl Spence is in full go mode, right? He's in full go mode. Like he ain't missing a beat. You know what I mean? Now he ain't had a fight since Yordanis Ugas, right? which is why I think part of the reason why we getting the right Bud. Like, okay, he ain't had a fight in a minute. I might be able to get him, right? But you got to think, before he fought Ugas, he was out for a year. You know what I mean? He had this training camp. He's in a good shape. Now, his timing, he got to get his timing right. He got to get his timing down early. But you got to think, he was coming off a 2-year layoff against Ugas that first time. Now, it's like a year and some change. Now it's like a year and some change, right? So he got less of a layoff than he had last time. He coming off 2 training camps, right? So you know he's in excellent shape. My bad. He coming off 2 training camps, right? So you know he in excellent shape. Terrence Crawford, I feel like Terrence Crawford is as ready. He did that movie stuff don't work. Terrence Crawford is as ready as Terrence Crawford is gonna be, man. He coming off 2 straight fights, right? He had who was it? He had the David Avanesyan fight. Right? Before that, did he fight somebody before Avanesyan? It was Porter before Avanesyan. Did Bud fight somebody after Porter? And I remember people saying, I'm finna go to Bud Boxer real quick. Let me see if he fight somebody after that. Y'all remember people saying it was Porter. So it was Porter before. Kell Brook, Porter, Avanesyan. So it was Porter before. I'm trying to see exactly how long he had in between Avanesyan and Porter. So about a year. Y'all want to know what I noticed? My Bud been fighting once a year for about 3 years. They be talking that shit about Aaron Spence. Bud been fighting once a year about 3 years. If I be capping, that's crazy. My effort. He been fighting once a year for about 3 years, bro. Yep, it wasn't no fight in between. So he had Porter. November 2020. He had David Avanesyan 12-22. Yeah, man. Yeah, so he was always planning to fight Earl. He didn't want to fight Earl Spence coming off that David Avanesyan fight. I mean, he didn't want to fight Earl Spence coming off just that Sean Porter fight. He wanted to have a fight in between to get his goddamn confidence up. That's what it is, bro. He didn't want 2 years off. He was off about 2 years. Earl wanted to fight. Bud was never going to fight Earl. He always wanted to get a fight in between first. But it's making sense to me now. He was never going to fight Earl before he fight David Avanesyan. He was always planning to fight David Avanesyan. Y'all, Earl Spence and Bud been just as active. They had one fight in 20, had one fight in 2020, had one fight in 2022, and they about to have Bud fought Avanesyan, right? And now he about to fight Earl. He got one extra fight, and that's the fucking Avanesyan fight. And that's the Avanesyan fight, bro. So Earl Spence and Bud literally would have been on even playing ground as far as time out a fight if Bud had fought him coming out that Avanesyan fight. That would have been on even playing ground. Now Earl Spence gonna be the one, right? Earl Spence fought Ugas in 2000. He fought Danny Garcia in 20 or Ugas in 22, right? He about to fight Bud in 23. So it's gonna be a year and 3 months by the time he fight Bud. It's gonna be about 6 months for Bud. But they both would have been coming off 2-year layoffs if they had a fought before Bud fought Avanesyan. That's crazy. Boy, bro, both these folks, Earl, EJ, yep, EJ been getting ready for Bud, Bud getting ready for EJ. Fact, both these folks had a fighting 20, a fighting 22, and a fighting 23. Earl fought Ugas in 22, Bud fought Avanesyan, and they're about to fight each other in 23. Bud fought Sean Porter in 20, and Earl fought Danny in 20. Earl fought Sean Porter and Earl fought Garcia in 20. Bud fought Brook. He fought Sean Porter in 21. Earl didn't have a fight in 21. So Earl fought Danny in 20. Bud fought Brook. He fought Sean Porter in 21, did Bud. Earl fought Ugas in 22. Bud fought Avanesyan. And they're about to fight each other in 23. So Avanesyan is the only fight. Bro. See, remember Bud told EJ, don't fight him next coming out the accident. Look what happened to Danny. No tune-up. Facts, brody. That's wild, brody. But look, I'm gonna get up out of here. I gotta make a store run. Gotta feed my face. Gotta put some food in my body, some nourishment in my body. I'm coming back though. I'm gonna come back. We're gonna be back here about maybe 10:30, something like that. I don't know, something like that. But we'll be back though. But y'all, I advise y'all, bro, go watch that David Avanesyan fight. I saw a bunch of stuff, bro, that alarmed the shit out of me as a Bud Crawford fan. Like I saw him try to use the ring and outbox David Avanesyan. He couldn't really do it. He had his best success fighting David Avanesyan on the inside. And if Bud Crawford, if you're a left-handed inside fighter now, you fighting a natural left-handed inside fighter, then boy, that's gonna get ugly for you. You know what I mean? I saw him have to go to a plan A, B, C, and D versus David Avanesyan when David Avanesyan is a C-level fighter. So why did Bud Crawford have to go to A, B, C? You know what I mean? I saw Bud try to use his legs and get the ring cut off on him and scored on by a guy who uses no jabs, no body work. But he was still able to cut the ring off and land on you. That was extremely alarming for me. You know what I mean? Extremely alarming for me. I'm gonna do my Earl Spence. You know, I'm gonna do my Earl Spence video. What Bud gotta do to beat Earl Spence, how Bud beats Earl in a minute. This is what I feel like Bud Crawford, you know, this is why I feel like Bud Crawford needs to address, basically, right, for that Earl Spence fight, right? But with the way it's looking right now, with what's going on right now, I think Bud is some trouble, man. I think Bud now is an inside fighter, right? I think now the way that Bud will have to beat Earl Spence, I think is the advantage Earl Spence in this fight. And if Bud don't hurt Earl Spence early and often, I think it's gonna get ugly real early for Terrence Bud Crawford, man. But I appreciate y'all folks flying through this thing, man. Skin Hardaway, Southern T. This ain't the past, this ain't the future, but this the present. That's how you rocking, and I'm out. Look.